how many times have we seen, it's getting to be almost comical at this point, really. In the last 2 years, Oscar, it seems like Altavista kicks off to start 90 to 95% of the games. I mean, they win the coin toss with an alarming regularity. It's crazy how much they win that coin toss. But then when you see when Nelson wins the coin toss, Nelson elects to receive, so it ends up being the same thing Altavista would want anyway.
That's right. And, you know, we may see a little bit of a delay on the kickoff as the fog machine here that they use as they play Inner Sandman, but the ref's waiting for some of the smoke to clear because it's heavy fog laying across, and it's about that 40-yard line making its way to the end zone.
Yeah, the fog is not the fastest ball carrier in the world, but it is moving towards that left-hand end zone.
We're seeing a couple of Nelson County players disappear. We can't see the chain gang on the other side now. So
they paid good money for that fog machine, and it was well spent because that's the best fog machine I've ever seen. You know, somebody like Metallica or AC/DC could use that fog machine in their concerts, I think, and be just fine. Actually, I don't know. The fire marshal might set off the fire alarm. I'm sure some of the players are down there having a good laugh about it. Walker Allen's had the ball teed up this entire time we're talking, but the ref won't let him kick it off just yet. He wants to let the clouds dissipate a little bit more. Nelson County in all white helmets as well. Green and yellow trim around. Looks like everybody on their squad's got black shoes with white socks. The Colonels on the other side, we already told you about their pink socks. Some guys have got some white and black in there with them. And then the black pants, orange jerseys, black helmet as usual.
It looks like we're ready to go, Kyle.
Looks like the fog is pretty much in the end zone now at this point. It was pretty funny to watch it stroll across the field like that. There's still a little bit lingering over there between the 30 and the 20-yard line where Nelson County is about to return, but not much. Here comes Walker Allen's run up, and the kick is a low line drive. It gets past the first wave of return men. Now it's picked up on about the 11-yard line by number 13, Sheldon Perkins. Perkins goes to the middle of the field, gets hit hard by a host of Colonels, and is stopped right around the 20-yard line. He may have got it out to the 21, 22 maybe. We'll see where they finally spot it up.
And that was a nice job by Demetrius Johnson, who got down and threaded his way through the blockers and was able to make the initial contact and get some help from his teammates.
Coach Poston favors an up-tempo spread style of offense. We've seen that a whole lot this year, and that's something the Colonels like to do as well. 4 wide receivers. They're double-stacked on each side, so there's 2 on each side. Quarterback is Peyton Galloway, like Oscar mentioned. He looks like he's under center right now, waiting for some signals from the sideline. Taking a long time. The ball was spotted a while ago. I don't know if they started the play clock or not. Now he finally gets under center in a low crouch. There's the snap. He'll turn around and hand it off to his tailback, who's got some room right side. Good blocking initially. He shook off one tackle and then was brought down by, it looks like, number 9, Ty Woodruff, and also number 2, Clydell Moon.
Yeah, nice run. A little bit off tackle, picked up 6 yards. They've got the defenders, the corners, and the corners and a couple of linebackers spread out wide. And I think it surprised the Colonels that they ran the ball.
Yeah, Colonels still adjusting their defensive alignment. I mentioned Nelson County was going to go up-tempo. They've been anything but so far as they get lined up quickly, but they spend a lot of time under center there. Here comes the handoff again. Gives it to the tailback. Not much. He's across the 30, which was the line of scrimmage. Stacked up now and gets dropped. It's Doug Taylor on the carry. And he might have gained 1.
Looks like Trayvon Elliott was the first one to make contact with him for the Colonels. And they're going to call it a gain of about 2.
Very manageable third down situation here for Nelson County. They'll snap it from the right hash mark, 31-yard line. Near side for us as they are going left to right on your radio dial. 10:45 to play here in the Apple Market first quarter. No score so far. 3 wide receivers to the right, 2 to the left, which means an empty backfield for Galloway. That offensive line gets set very early, Oscar, and then Galloway takes a long time to snap it. Now he's under center again, and there's the whistle. I think they finally did take too much time. It will be a delay of game on Nelson County. Boy, on first and second down, they had to get it very close within 1 or 2 seconds of being a delay game, and then they finally got whistled for it there.
Well, you're right. Good call, Kyle, because they did take too long, and that's the first penalty of the ball game. 5 yards marked off against Nelson County. And like you said, they're set. They've got 5 players split out, or this time they've got 4 split out, and trying to spread out that Colonel defense. And open up some running room.
Yeah, those two outside receivers are only about 1 or 2 yards away from the sideline, so they really are stretched all the way across the field. Shotgun snap is a little high, looks like a passing play. Galloway can't find anybody. Flushed out of the pocket, hit hard by number 10. That's Darius Johnson. He's brought down, and he's going to be about a yard short of the first down marker. I think they needed to get to the 34. I feel like he got dropped on about the 33, Oscar. Looks like Nelson County is going to keep the offense out there. It's actually going to be about 4th and 2. We'll see if they're going to go for it, or maybe it's one of those hard counts. Now they're sending out some new personnel, so it looks like a punting situation.
Yeah, that was a gain of about 4. They're actually going to mark it at the 31, and now you're right. It looks like they are going to send out the punting team. And the punter didn't have a lot of range as I was watching in warm-ups, but he certainly gets hang time. It'll be tough to for Malbach to get a return if he continues to kick like he did in warm-ups.
Spread punt formation for Nelson County, something that you would see in the college game where the offensive line is spread out across the field and there's 3 personal protectors back. Nelson going to get whistled for another penalty, illegal participation or substitution, whatever you want to call it. They had too many guys on the field. They broke the huddle with more than 11. So 5 more yards they'll get set back.
And, that plays right into the Colonel's hands trying to get this field flipped.
Yeah.
Michi Malbach will be taking the ball in between the 45, their own Altavista 45 and 50.
Yeah, Nelson will snap this long snap punt from the 27-yard line, Michi Malbach over on the other side of the 50 on about the 44-yard line. Snap is back. Colonels came after it, and they almost got it. And you mentioned it, high-hanging punt. Malbach fields it with a fair catch right on the 50-yard line. So fine starting field position for the Altavista Colonels on their first possession on offense of the game. 9:17 remaining in the Apple Market first quarter. 0-0 is our score.
Colonels take over right at midfield. And we alluded to the fact that Destin Brown was not eligible last week, was on the sideline for Altavista Colonels, and it looks like he's not getting the start tonight.
Yeah, we saw him in warm-ups tonight. He's in full gear, and he was participating in warm-ups, maybe just trying to test it out and see how he feels.
And that was a shoulder injury.
Yep. And it might, again, I want to be careful how I phrase this. Colonels might not need him to play tonight in order to win the game.
Give him another week of rehab and recovery time.
Shotgun snap. They're going to give it to Clydell Moon. Moon tries to go behind right guard. That's Elliott. He breaks some tackles. Oh, boy, he almost broke another tackle as he falls forward close to the first down. Got hit about 1 yard past the line of scrimmage. Looked like he was going to be stopped in his tracks there. Kept on going. It's going to set up second and about 1. Good hard running from Mr. Moon.
Yeah, you mentioned it, exactly what we've seen Clydell all year. He gets those legs driving, runs downhill, and he makes a little bit quicker cuts than he gives credit for. But that was a nice run by Clydell. Pick up a 9.
Yeah, he can get running downhill in a hurry. Downhill, metaphorically speaking. Looks like Michi Malbach was offsides. Whistle comes out a little bit late. Number 1 just got a quick start right there.
And he had a quick slot because he was going to be uncovered. And his eyes had to be as big as saucers because Juan was locked in. As soon as Michi took off, Juan was going to pump to him, and both of them were a little bit frustrated.
Yeah, Michi saw that the play was going to be there. A little bit of a head start. That's a no-no. 5 yards of penalties for Altavista, and it looks like Nelson County wants to take a timeout to talk things over. We'll take it with them. 0-0 is our score here in the Apple Market first quarter with 8:31 to play. Nelson County versus Altavista on 105.5 KD Country.
A short drive will save you money.
That's right. A short drive can save you hundreds, maybe thousands. The absolute best selection of new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Have a trade? When you make a deal, Feller Chevrolet will pay it off, no matter how much you owe. Slow credit? Don't worry. Drive away today in your new or pre-owned vehicle. Remember, if you didn't purchase your vehicle from Feller Chevrolet, you paid too much for it.
Feller Chevrolet in Altavista.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
51 years of high school sports on 105.5 KD Country, and we're so glad you joined us for another year. Nelson County in town taking on Altavista. 0-0 our score, Oscar. And there's one penalty. We mentioned the Colonels would love to eliminate those. And I'm sure just because they just got one penalty early, that doesn't mean they're going to rack up 100 yards again. But obviously, as a coach, you can't make you too happy over there.
No, that's right. And they're back on the field getting ready to take a snap.
Unbalanced formation here. 4 wide receivers to the right. Juan Thornhill wants to run that way. Breaks it outside. Nice solo tackle, over there as Thornhill is dropped at the line of scrimmage, just short of the 45-yard line.
And nice, no gain. Nice takedown by the Nelson County defender. Looked like it was number 33, Clayton Cook. And you don't see many people tackle Juan in the open field for no gain.
Yeah, good solid tackling right there. You're absolutely right. Normally Juan Thornhill going to run through those solo tackles. It's going to take more than one guy to bring him down. Good stuff there from the Governors. Juan resets the offense again. 3rd and 6. 2 wide receivers to each side. He's got Moon to his left in the backfield. Looks over the defense from the right hash mark. A little bit of a low snap. Juan wants to throw. Plenty of time to run out of the pocket. He may end up running this one to himself anyway. Bounces ahead as he gets tackled forward by number 33, Clayton Cook again. He's just short of the first down. It's going to bring up 4th and we'll see where they spot it. 1, no more than 2 yards, Oscar. This may be go-for-it territory for the Colonels, especially early.
Yeah, it is, and you may see the hard count, but it's 4th and exactly 1, or you may just see power football here from the Colonels.
Juan going to get under center. Surging forward, quarterback sneak. Boy, he got stuffed initially. Second effort, he's going to get like 2 or 3 yards. Nelson had him stopped initially. Number 60, Malik Carter, got great penetration on the D-line, and he stacked Juan up, but Juan just kept driving the legs. That's heart right there.
It was all
muscle.
It was all Juan Thornhill and all, like you said, all heart, because he was stopped, stood up, and lost forward momentum, but he continued to drive and able to pick up 2 yards on that play. Nice job by Thornhill. First down, Colonels.
That's one of the reasons why not only do you like to have somebody fast back there at quarterback, but it never hurts if he's a big, strong guy to power through and get that 1 yard on those 4th and short situations. Shotgun formation again. Canavis Jones in motion. Almost snapped it right to him, but Thornhill fakes it to him and keeps it ahead himself. He surges across the 35-yard line, and he's brought down around the 33, which is going to go for a pickup of about 7.
Yeah, you talked about almost snapping the ball. It was as close as I've seen all year. We saw a little bit of a different formation that time. Navy Jones was in the slot on one side, Michi Mall back in the slot on the other. I don't recall of seeing that this year.
Yeah, there's good timing, and then there's almost a little bit too close for comfort there. They wanted to fake it to Canavis as he went by, but they almost ended up snapping it right to him as he almost was across the center. Thornhill's got Moon right behind him. This time they'll put Canavis Jones in motion again. They fake it to Canavis Jones. They were going to hand it to Clydell Moon. I say going to hand it because a whistle came out. Another flag. I think left guard might have moved early this time for the Altavista Colonels, and it is an illegal procedure penalty. So 5 more yards of penalties. 6:07 to play in the first quarter. No score.
That's right. 6:07, no score. Colonels here on their opening drive. It's going to be second and about 9. Currently, Juan Thornhill's getting the play in from Coach Sharness, and
Juan does a great job getting the play and then relaying the information to everybody else, whether it's the play itself or any extra information that they need to know. Juan certainly is like another coach on the field, and you like to see that out of your quarterback. Shotgun snap on the way, a little low again. He mishandled it initially. Juan wants to throw. Looking deep, got Michi Mall back over the middle. Wow, nice pass breakup. It goes incomplete. Great recovery by number 2, Kelly Kirby. Mallback had some steps on him. Juan's throw was a little bit underthrown, and Kelly Kirby was able to get in there and really make an outstanding defensive play.
Well, he did, and the ball was a little bit underthrown, but he was about 2 steps behind Michi, and he closed very quickly and was able to break up that pass, because if it wasn't broken up, it was going to be a touchdown.
Yeah, Michi really had room to run there. Like you said, if that pass doesn't get broken up, it's going for 6 for the Altavista Colonels. Nice defensive play there by Kelly Kirby, and really you got to take your hat off to Nelson's defense early. They've done a fantastic job. They've been aided by a couple Colonel penalties. 2 wide receivers each side again on 3rd and long for Juan Thornhill and the Altavista Colonels. Going to put Canavis Jones in motion again. They fake it to him. Hand it to Clydell Moon. Moon is hit around the line of scrimmage. Bounces ahead for 1 or 2, but he's well short of the first down marker. And this is going to set up another 4th down for the Altavista Colonels. They picked up 1, but that was a 4th and 1. This is going to be more like 4th and 7.
Yeah, and the ball's at the 36-yard line. If they punt and it goes into the end zone, they're going to spot it at the 20. I think you'll see the Colonels go for it here. I don't see Walker Allen on the field. Destin Brown tried to sneak on the field, and Coach Sharness said no.
That's comical. Well, They may end up needing Destin later on, but I think they want to just try and keep him as healthy as possible for not only the rest of the regular season, but the playoffs as well. They are going to go for it on 4th down. Colonel's going to use a tight end here, 3 wide receivers, and 1 running back. Flag comes out again, and it looks like a delay of game penalty on the Altavista Colonels. They did take a while to get that play in, and obviously it's a 4th down situation, Oscar. You want to get the right play. You kind of agonize over a little bit, but now I think this is going to prompt Coach Sharnes to bring out that punting unit.
Well, and here it is. The first drive that the Colonels have had, they've had 15 yards worth of penalties, and it's killed this drive.
Yeah, it's hard to gain any momentum, any progress with those penalties. Walker Allen is on to punt.
Out to punt for the Colonels.
Ball's going to get snapped from the Nelson County 42. Walker Allen all the way on the Altavista 44. He's a full 15 yards deep. Looks like 2 men back deep for Nelson County. Kirby is one of them. Can't get the number on the other one just yet. We'll wait and see. Here's the snap. It's a pretty good one. They will kick it away. And Nelson County's going to let it bounce, and it does bounce into the end zone. It dropped on about the 5 and took that forward roll there into the end zone. So it'll be a touchback. Nelson County will scrimmage from the 20-yard line. 5:04 to go in the Apple Market first quarter. Still no score here from Altavista High School.
Well, worst case scenario for the Colonels there, did punt into the end zone. 41-yard punt for Walker Allen, which is respectable, and of course no return because they did bring it out to the 20s that went into the end zone. First down, 10, 5:04 remaining. No score here from Altavista.
Yeah, you can't feel too bad about it if you're Walker Allen. I mean, he put good leg on it, and it just happened to bounce into the end zone. Field position played a big part in that. Nelson County shotgun snap this time, 2 wide receivers to each side. They hand it to the tailback again. He is tackled solo by Darius Johnson after a small gain. That again was Doug Taylor getting the carry.
And they're going to put that at about the 24-yard line, gain of 4. Nelson County has done a decent job of moving the ball here.
Second and 6.
Yeah, they really have. And the defense didn't play bad for the Governors either. Double-stacked wide receivers again. They've just got those outside guys spread out, and then the slot guys are right behind them. Quick slant pass over there in the backfield, actually. It's going to be enough for a first down. Let's see who caught it. It was all the way on the far side for us. Quarterback Peyton Galloway threw a nice pass to him on the short little spot route.
Yeah, and that was a nice job on that pattern. Navy Jones actually went for the interception and didn't get it, and led to that big first down by the Governors.
It was Kelly Kirby on the reception, and I mentioned that double-stack formation, Oscar. It almost sets up that little spot pass because you get the one guy in front that can block. It turns into a screen just by formation. Peyton Galloway under center this time. He'll keep it for the QB sneak. He gains about 3. May have caught the Colonels by surprise a little bit there as he breaks it out to the left side after the initial quarterback sneak. Under 5 minutes to play. Almost under 4 minutes, 4:15 to be exact. Still 0-0.
And Nelson County's doing exactly what they want to do. They're taking a long time. They're getting the offensive line set. They're milking the clock down to very little time left in the play clock. Here we are, 4 minutes, getting ready to go into 3. And the Colonels have only had 1 possession.
Yep. It's a spread formation, but it certainly has been ball control offense. They're taking a while to get the plays in. They're letting the play clock run down. Shotgun formation. This time they hand it to Taylor, and he is stopped in the backfield. Penetration there. I'm pretty sure it was Demetrius Johnson getting up off that pile. It is Dante Poindexter as well. Good stuff by the D-line there from the Colonels to drop Taylor for a loss. Going to set up 3rd and 9. By the way, Oscar, Destin Brown is on the field on defense at one of those linebacker spots.
Yeah, good to see him out. He was close to being in on that tackle, about a half a step behind, and no need for him to get involved with that. But it is good to see Destin back out on the field.
3rd and 9 coming up for the Governors from the left hash mark. 37-yard line. They put the back in motion. It's an empty backfield. Galloway wants to pass. He's chased out by Darius Johnson. He throws it away. Flag comes out. I don't think it was intentional grounding because it came out over here on this left side. I think maybe the receiver and the cornerback got tangled up. Might have been some extracurriculars over here. Actually, just going to call offside on the offense, or false start, if you will. Go against the Governors. Pass was incomplete. I think Altavista, that's Mr. McCracken and Mr. Money bring up a good point there, Oscar. Probably can't decline that because it actually happened before the snap.
Yeah, that is a good point. And
No,
They did decline.
They did give him the option of declining it.
I didn't realize on a dead ball that you could do that.
Brings up 4th and long.
So it brings up 4th and 9. Again, the pass was incomplete. He was flushed out by Darius Johnson. Galloway sort of heaved it away as he was getting thrown to the deck by Johnson. But pass wasn't really near anyone. It fell harmlessly incomplete. Punt team will come out for Nelson with 3:11 to play in the first quarter.
Thornhill takes a break. Nelson Deuce comes in to replace him to cover one of the wideouts for Nelson in this spread punt. And it is spread.
Yeah, the center, the long snapper, is on the left hash mark there, and then the nearest guy from him is a full 5 yards away. And the next guy beside that man, the tackle, is about another full 5 yards away, and they even spread out a little bit more now. Officials talking some things over. Again, it is a punt formation that you see a lot on Saturdays. Don't see it in the NFL at all. Everybody pretty much goes with that standard punt formation in the NFL, but you do see this in college quite a bit. The officials are going to talk some things over. They're actually talking to the punter for Nelson County.
I think that there was a substitution issue.
Yeah, they had this before on the punt team. They had to take a 5-yard penalty. Obviously, I don't think they have their punt personnel straight. The punter looked like it was Peyton Galloway, also the quarterback. They sent him off the field. I don't know if he's got a jersey issue, an equipment issue. Hard to know from up here. But either way, 4th and 9. Michi Malback got his heels on the 35-yard line. Here comes the punt. Colonels almost got to it again. This one's pretty short. It's going to fall on the 50 and bounce backwards. They down it on the 50. That was number 63, Nick Schornstrom, down there to down the football for Nelson County, and they'll actually spot it on the 49-yard line of Altavista. That's where the Colonels will take over with 3:04 to play in the Apple Market first quarter. Of course, 3 great locations at Apple Market: Main Street, Gateway, and Riverside. Make sure you stop by tonight after the game to make sure you got everything to make your weekend great.
And this it looks like it's reminiscent of what happened with Chatham, that Nelson County was able to get them to hold their own here early. I'm going to say this, and you may yell at me, but it looks like the Colonels are a little flat right now.
Oh, I'm not going to yell at you for that. I'd never yell at you, so far as you know. Destin Brown in the backfield now, right behind Juan Thornhill in the pistol formation. Here comes a shotgun snap. They fake it to Destin Brown. Juan wants to pass. Good pocket for throw from initially. Now he's flushed out. Juan downfield looking for Canavis Jones. Jones has got it. Sidesteps one cornerback. Now he cuts it to the middle. 5 end zone touchdown. Canavis Jones on the pass from Juan Thornhill. A 51-yard hookup with 2:52 to play in the first quarter. Maybe the Colonels didn't look so flat on that play, Oscar. Good passing play right there, and a nice little sidestep move by Canavis Jones.
Nice job by Juan avoiding the rush, and an equally nice job by Canavis finding a hole. And really, what I'm going to say is he was sitting down in a spot where he was open. And nice throw by Thornhill to get it to him. And once Navy got it, he was not going to be denied. He had about 15, 20 yards, and he made a couple of very nice moves.
Yeah, too much open space and green grass for a guy with the speed of Navy Jones right there. Here's the snap on the extra point. Ball gets on the block. Kick looks good.
Nailed
it.
it.
It is. Nailed it. 7-0. Colonels lead. 2:52 to play in the first quarter here on 105.5 KD Country.
Man, it's cold in here. What's wrong with your heater?
Well, it used to work pretty good.
Back in the 90s, just call Select Air and get it fixed.
Oh, it'll probably cost a lot of money.
No, it won't, because Donnie will give you a fair price and get it done right the first time.
Maybe I'll call Select Air tomorrow.
No, you will call Select Air today, because it's freezing in here.
Select Air, 841-1580. 841-1580. Online at selectair.webs.com. You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
51-yard passing touchdown from Juan Thornhill to Navy Jones starts the scoring for the Altavista Colonels. Walker Allen adds the extra point. 7-0. Colonels lead. And, just as you mentioned, the Colonels looked a little flat. I was going to have to agree with you. I did think Altavista looked a little flat early. It's amazing how one play can change things around, especially an exciting play like that. I mean, that's got to get you fired up as a team when you see a play like that.
Absolutely, and of course, Juan Thornhill, another touchdown pass for him, and I'll see what that is for him on the season. As we've got stats provided to us here from Coach Dave Close.
I know Navy Jones, I'll just give you a second to look at it. I know Navy Jones, that's his second receiving touchdown of the year. He caught the one in the Galax game from Donovan Montague. And I want to say Juan has thrown at least 4 or 5 to Michi Malbeck. It feels like maybe one
It's
other
5.
one somewhere else. Is it
It's 5.
Okay.
Yeah, sure is. So I think that's the 10th touchdown, but I'm not sure.
Wow.
No, it's not.
And
Can't-
send you back to remediation, I think.
Yeah,
Kick is
6.
away and fielded on about the 15-yard line by Kelly Kirby. He's got some room left sideline. Now he's thrown out of bounds all the way over there in the Nelson County bench area. And Nelson County will take over. Let's see where they finally spot this thing. 28-yard line, 26-yard line.
6-yard line. First and 10, Nelson.
Decent return there by Kelly Kirby and the Governors. And pretty good coverage by the Altavista Colonels on the kickoff.
Yes, it was. And Nelson, you got to believe that they're going to continue the same pattern that they've done so far offensively, and that's to wind that play clock down to right under 5 seconds.
Shotgun snap, they fake it to the tailback. Galloway will keep it himself. Nothing there. Hit by a swarm of orange jerseys. Halloween is still a little bit of a few days away. But boy, Galloway had to think it came early when he saw that orange and black swarming on him right there. 6 or 7 guys in the backfield for Altavista.
Yeah, and he did a little play fake on that and faked the handoff, but Altavista was having none of that.
Yeah, I want to say Darius Johnson was the first guy in on there, but there was, again, a bunch of Colonel jerseys in that backfield, so it was hard to get a good read on who it was. Galloway looks like he wants to go under center again. Got the tailback right beside him, basically. Passing play, throws the slant to Kirby. It's complete. Gain of about 10. It's going to be a little short of the first down, but a nice passing play there on the slant. Tackled by Juan Thornhill. Destin Brown. Looked like Donovan Montague in on stop as well after the completion.
Nice pass of 11 yards.
7-0. Altavista leads. 1:43 to play here in the first quarter. 3rd and a long one. Maybe call it 3rd and 2. Galloway in the shotgun formation right now. We've seen him back there 5 yards deep and then get a signal from Coach Poston, and he'll step up and take an under center snap. Looks like he's going to stay in the shotgun this time. Trying to get his running back straight. Running back is still moving around. And Coach Poston wants to take a timeout. Didn't like the way his offense was set up right there. We'll take a timeout as well. 7-0. Colonels lead. Minute and a half to go in the first quarter on 105.5 KD Country.
In the past century, our community has grown, and Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service has grown too, alongside the families they've known for so long. Finch & Finch is proud to have served you over 100 years. A family business, Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service, dedicated to your service.
Finch and Finch Funeral Homes. We're here because we care.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Homecoming from Altavista tonight. 1:23 left to play in the first quarter. Festivities underway already. Had the pep rallies and all that stuff. They've got the stadium decorated.
Class of 83 is here. I understand there are about 30 couples here from that class, so it's nice to see that turnout. And I know they've got plans for later on tonight to get together and reminisce and
Club is selling Colonel gear.
have an adult beverage or two is what I've been told.
Okay, well, I won't comment on that, but I will say it's always nice to get the old gang back together anytime you can. And even in this day and age of Facebook and all that stuff where everybody can stay connected, nothing beats the old face-to-face
Well,
communication.
not
at the
everybody
old
can
school.
stay connected.
No,
Kyle.
not everybody can stay connected. Some people are still in the dark ages. 3rd and 2 here. Nelson County. Galway's going to keep it. He's got the first down, a little bit extra. Lowers the shoulder there at the end of it. Puts a good shot on Mr. Juan Thornhill. Good hard football right there. Nice running by Nelson County. And Peyton Galway, enough for the first down.
Well, we know that Peyton Galway is a double threat. He ran for 75 and threw for 76 against Chatham. He showed right then great ball handling skills as Dante Poindexter certainly thought he still had the ball and aggressively went after him. But nice pickup of 11. That's back-to-back gains of 11 yards for Nelson County. They have got the ball almost out the midfield.
Nelson County not getting a lot of big chunks of yardage, but they are slowly moving it down the field. 1st and 10 from the 44-yard line. Galway hands it off this time to Doug Taylor. He's driving ahead. He's got the feet moving. Now it turns into a rugby scrum. Bunch of jerseys from both teams in there. Altavista just stacked them up. Give the whole team a credit for a tackle on that one. It was a pickup of about 5, though. Good hard running by Nelson County. And I'll tell you, Oscar, I mean, I assumed we were going to make this comment at some point, but not necessarily in the first quarter. Nelson County does not look like an 0-6 football team. I mean, they play hard.
They are, and, you talk about 25, 24 seconds. It's only 7-0 lead for the Colonels.
Right.
And the Colonels have only had 2 possessions. Nelson's done a good job of maintaining ball control.
Clock management, ball control, football, shotgun snap. Again, they fake it to Taylor. Galway keeps it himself. He's back to the line of scrimmage. Now he's cut down. Good thigh pad tackle right there by Clydell Moon, I think it was. Wasn't it, Oscar?
No, it's actually Navy Jones.
Oh, well, that was my next guess.
Nice job by Navy over there on the edge, but that's the end of the first quarter. Colonels lead 7-0.
You heard it all on 105.5 KD Country.
Tonight's game is brought to you by these members of the Katy Country Sports Club.
Steve Farmer Auto Sales, where there's always a good selection of cars, trucks, SUVs, priced right, financing available. Steve Farmer Auto Sales, 1112 Main Street.
Aubrey Rosser Law Firm, Altavista. First choice for any and all legal advice. Services go way beyond court trials and settlements.
Diane's Hair Creations in Altavista, creating hairstyles for every lifestyle. 283-1111. That's 283-1111.
El Cerrito, Altavista. Throw on a sombrero. Shake your maracas. It's El Cerrito time. Authentic Mexican cuisine only at El Cerrito.
Shop Main Street Trading Company, Altavista, where quality and affordability go hand in hand.
Sharky's Pest Control in Hurt. Let Tony take a bite out of your pest control needs. Doing business the old-fashioned way to keep you coming back.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Some quick stats here as we come back before we start the second quarter. First quarter, Altavista 24 yards on the ground. The big play was the 50-yard pass from Thornhill to Navy Jones for 50 yards. Again, total of 74 yards. Nelson County 30 on the ground, 23 yards passing, so for a total of 53. Both teams had 15 yards in penalties in the first quarter.
Seemed like the Colonels' penalties affected them a little bit more. You think back, Nelson County had penalties on a punting situation anyway.
And they had back-to-back where it was in that one drive.
Right.
So Altavista's had it on just about every drive.
Yep. 12
Both
minutes.
of them.
Yeah, right. Both drives Altavista had. That's a good point. Colonels haven't had the football a whole lot. Give Nelson County credit again for playing that ball control offense. And the Governor's defense hadn't been bad either. They just gave up the one long passing play. Third down for the Governors. They're looking deep down the sideline. It's complete. Galway found number 33, and number 33 is still rumbling. He's going to get knocked over finally by Juan Thornhill. Michi Malbeck was going for the strip. That's Clayton Cook. Just went down the sideline, got past his cornerback, and Galway just sort of dropped it in there to him. And then Cook did some serious running after the catch as nobody could find a way to bring him down until Juan Thornhill finally hit him on the hip right there and dropped him.
Gain of 31. The ball is inside. It's in the red zone now. They've got it right at the 18-yard line, 1st and 10. And don't know if it'll come to this. Nelson's kicker was strong as I watched him in warm-ups as well. He can go out to about 40 to 45 yards.
Governor's driving here to start the second quarter. Galway's got his running back right behind him and shading to the right just a little bit. They pull some linemen. Galway will follow him on the quarterback keeper. Not a whole lot there. He is stuffed up hard. Juan Thornhill in on that one. Also Destin Brown. Might have picked up one or two. Play didn't develop bad initially for Nelson County, but boy, those linebackers and Juan Thornhill, the safety for Altavista, they just closed very quickly.
Yes, they did. And again, you mentioned Destin Brown. It's good to see him being back in the ball game in this game tonight and being aggressive and using that shoulder.
Yeah, he is aggressive. Looks like he's in there at full strength, mixing it up, not afraid to get in on some of those hard tackles. And you know that's the way Destin plays. He's a very physical ball player. 11 minutes to go here. Colonels lead 7-0. They put the back in motion. Ends up being an empty backfield for the Governors. They got Cook again on the short route. Juan Thornhill going to try and drag him down. He'll get help from Dante Poindexter. Cook still fighting his way. He's all the way down to the 6-yard line on another completion. Galloway to Cook, and the Governors are in business here. They're going to have 1st and goal.
Yeah, nicely executed play. The receiver was able to find the pocket. Galloway's got a nice rotation on his ball.
Yeah.
He spins it well. And after the catch, the receivers have done a good job as well.
Yeah, and Clayton Cook, 6 foot 160. He looks a little bit bigger than that. He can rumble around. Stoppage in play here by the officials. Neither team is going over their sidelines. Okay, they've stopped it to come out and measure. Ball looks like he got spotted actually on about the 8-yard line. And he needed to get just beyond that for the first down. So let's see when they bring the chains out. 10:37 to go here in the Apple Market third quarter. Check out the weekly specials all game long at all 3 Apple Market locations. Gateway, Main Street, and Riverside. They measured, and it was enough for a first down, so it will bring up first and goal for the Governors from the 8-yard line.
Of course, they were started at the 18. They got 2 on the first play and 8 on the second, so 8 and 2 is 10, Kyle. That's a first down.
I flunked Math 101 twice, actually, but no, you're...
Are you sure?
Your arithmetic sounds good to me. Galway's going to get under center. He's got Taylor behind him in the backfield. 3 wide receivers to his right. Turns, hands it to Taylor. Not much there as he's hit in the backfield by Dante Poindexter. Now they're driving him back a little bit more. He'll get forward progress, but I think it's still going to go as a loss of 1 or 2, Oscar.
Yeah, that was a great job by Poindexter, who wrapped him up and started. He drove him backwards, and then he got help from Destin Brown, and looks like Clydell may have been in there as well. They're going to knock it back to the 10-yard line. That is a loss of 2. Brings up second and goal from the 10-yard line.
Well, Dante Poindexter may not win a lot of flat-out races, but, boy, he is quick on that defensive line. And at 215 pounds, he's one of the quicker 215-pounders you're ever going to see. Blew by that offensive lineman, was in the backfield in a hurry.
And he's also one of the stronger players on the Colonel's team.
Pretty potent little combination there. He's looking to get in the backfield again. Galway's going to throw to the end zone. Ball is incomplete. Juan Thornhill almost came up with an interception, laid out full stretch, but the pass was not a very good one in any respect.
You're exactly right. And if it would have been a good pass, it would have been picked off. It was nose diving like a Uehara knuckle split finger.
Wow, great reference right there. It is October. I mean, I love the reference.
Yeah, Uehara's been lights out for the Red Sox.
Yeah, pretty nasty.
I don't want to selfishly plug the Red Sox too much, so we'll get back to the Altavista game.
No, it's fine. I was going to say I think he's only walked like 2 guys all season, or maybe since the All-Star break. Either way, that's pretty disgusting. Galway wants to pass, looking for the end zone. Ball's a little deep. Juan Thornhill's got the interception. He'll pick it off in the end zone and just kneel down. Goes as a touchback. We mentioned when that ball goes up, the Altavista defenders want it as bad as the other team's offense do. Juan Thornhill almost got a pick on the play before. He does get one on this one. Big play right there to stop the Nelson scoring threat.
And that is the first turnover in the ball game. So nice job by Juan Thornhill. Again, proving that's the 5th interception inside of less than a game and a half.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible stuff right there from Juan Thornhill and the entire team. The D-line was getting good pressure on Galway. I think that might have aided that bad pass just a little bit.
And let's see if that turns the Colonels around and gets the offense ignited a little bit.
5th interception on the year for Juan Thornhill. Let me count up how many it is for the team, Oscar. 14 interceptions. Canavis Jones going to go up right sideline. He's across the 30, across the 20. He can put it on cruise control now. Touchdown, second one of the night for Canavis Jones. It comes at 9:17 to go in the first half. Boy, I blinked and I even missed part of it, Oscar.
I did too. And, next thing I knew, you see Navy Jones burning down the sideline. Nice touchdown by Navy. Another one of those 80-yard touchdowns by the Colonels.
Man, great stuff right there. Talk about a quick strike. We said the Colonels might have looked a little bit flat. Well, I think they're coming out of that funk here slowly but surely. Maybe I shouldn't say slowly. Maybe just in the blink of an eye, because that's how quick Canavis Jones has scored 2 touchdowns. Navy going up the right sideline there for 80 yards. Second touchdown of the evening. Walker Allen on to try his second extra point. Snap is back, and it's blocked. Good rush by Nelson County. That ball never got more than about 5 feet off the ground as they blocked it in the backfield. So it's no good. 13-0. 9:17 to play here in the second quarter from English Stadium. Colonels lead on 105.5 KD Country.
Installing Atrium vinyl replacement windows is like an investment in your home that can begin to pay dividends right away. You can save up to 30% or more on your home's heating and cooling costs. Add to your home's equity and add to its value by upgrading its looks and energy efficiency. Custom crafted Atrium vinyl replacement windows. Invest in your home's future with English's.
English's is your complete home center.
Business 29 Altavista.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
It wouldn't be award-winning without our producer, Nick Bailey, back at home base, punching all the buttons, making it work. Probably wouldn't be award-winning without some great football. Cadavis Jones providing some here on this evening. 80-yard touchdown there to go along with his 51-yard catch-and-run touchdown earlier. And we've still got some time for Navy to do more damage. I'm sure the rest of the Colonels would like to join him as well. Great stuff so far after a little bit of a sleepwalk maybe through the early part of the first quarter there. Oscar, I'm going to give more of the credit to Nelson County, though. I think they've had a good game plan coming in. But, boy, sometimes there's only so much you can do against guys like Navy Jones.
Well, that's right. And we said we thought that interception on that great drive by Nelson to get the ball inside the 10-yard line, and then an equally as nice interception by Thornhill. We thought that might get the offense energized, and lo and behold, one play, 80 yards, it did.
Yeah, it really did. Give a lot of credit to Juan Thornhill for the pick and then the ensuing touchback. Dante Poindexter had the nice stop in the backfield earlier on the play before that kind of helped set up that situation, too. So definitely a team effort all the way around. Walker Allen on to kick off again. His last extra point was blocked. This kick's a little bit shorter. Kirby's going to field it on the one bounce at the 25-yard line. 15-yard line. Kirby hit hard by Nelson Dews. Dews just knocked him up around the shoulder pads, and Dews is pumped up with good reason. Boy.
Yeah, he did hit him high, but he drove, he exploded, drove through him, and flattened him.
Yeah, Nelson getting a lot of, Nelson Dews, that is. Not the Nelson County Governors. Nelson Dews getting a lot of high fives coming back to the sideline for that one on the kickoff.
And we've seen Nelson start to get a little bit more playing time here in the last 2 to 3 ball games, and we're starting to call his name. Another one of those weapons that the Colonels have that they continue to run off the bench and just get deeper and deeper.
Yeah, Nelson Dews, just a sophomore. He came up late in the year on that state championship basketball team last year, so you know he's a guy that's probably not short on confidence and a good athlete as well. Big hit right there. 1st and 10 for the Governors. From the 22-yard line they turn. They hand it to Taylor. He's hit hard in the backfield. Falls forward for a few yards. Didn't quite get a full yard, I don't think. Actually, more and more I look at it. And they do spot it for about a gain of 1, actually. 2nd and 9, 8:57 to play here in the Apple Market third quarter.
Yeah,
Second quarter, excuse me. Don't get ahead of myself.
No, not running clock yet. And the Colonels have got a long way to go. 8:50, like you said, 13-0. And Nelson's done a decent job so far tonight.
They really have. They protected the ball up until the interception. They did a nice job grinding out time off that clock. They hit some big pass plays as well in that drive, too. Galway under center, going to turn, wants to pass again. Not much there. He's going to have to get rid of it. He will not get rid of it. Ball comes out. He may have hit the ground. No whistles yet, though. I think they're going to call this a fumble. And if they do, it's going to be Altavista footballs. It's picked up by Demetrius Johnson. Let's see.
They're going to call him down.
Okay.
And
didn't hear a whistle.
They're going to mark it down at the 17-yard line. It's going to be a loss of 11.
Give Demetrius credit for the sack as well. He threw Galway down and then went and picked up the loose ball. And Johnson meeting up in the backfield again. There was one or two other Colonels in there as well. 3rd and real long for the Nelson County Governors. This is where you got to be careful if you're Nelson, because if you just throw one up, Altavista's going to look to pick it off and go pick 6, too. They're going to hand it off instead to Doug Taylor. Tripped up, kind of lost his footing a little bit. He was helped down by Destin Brown. Didn't pick up much, maybe 1 or 2. Certainly not enough to pick up the 3rd and long, so this will bring up 4th and about 18.
Yeah, he had to make the cut because Destin was right there getting ready to level him, so no choice but to again, his footing just went away from him.
Tough call to make for Coach Mark Poston there. I mean, you don't want to give up hope on 3rd and long like that, but like I said, if you just chuck that thing up in the air, you run the risk of Altavista picking it off and taking it back the other way. At least by being conservative and running the ball, you can punt it away and give your defense a chance. Let's see if the Colonels come after the punt again. They have been lately. Destin Brown and Demetrius Johnson, shoulder to shoulder. They look like they want to get in and block this thing. Let's see what happens. It's a good snap. Kick is off. It may have gotten tipped. Michi Malbach's not going to have a chance to field it. Nelson County touched it around the 40-yard line, and it bounced back to the 50. I guess the referees didn't see the initial touch.
Yeah, they're going to correct it. They're going to correct it. The line judge
got it right.
Yeah, the side judge had it marked, and it was at the 43-yard line. We got some help from the Colonel fans on that.
Yeah, well, hey, 12th man's important sometimes, right? 7:07 to play here in the Apple Market, second quarter.
26-yard punt. Colonels take over on the 43 of Nelson County. 44, they're going to mark it now.
Colonels lead 13-0. Boy, I haven't talked about the offensive line much so far tonight, Oscar, but I think they've been doing a pretty good job. Those tackles, McLeese and Teagarden. Pretty easy to run behind guys like that. They're going to hand it off to Michi Mall back on the wide receiver sweep. He's going outside, trying to run out some tackles. He kept his balance, had to put a hand down, and ends up gaining a few yards there after he got tripped up in the backfield. Almost got it to the 40-yard line for the Colonels.
Yeah, they're going to call it 2nd and 7. And nice, first time we've seen Michi carry the ball tonight. Nice job. Picked up, like I said, about 3.
Well, speaking of touchdowns, Michi's got 8 on the year. Juan Thornhill, of course, leads the ball club with 10. But Michi Malback, we know, about as dangerous a weapon as you will ever find.
Well, Navy Jones keeps going at the rate he's going. He's going to catch Michi.
That's a good point. Jones got 2 tonight. Altavista has got 13 to their credit as a team. 2nd and 7 on the way. Thornhill's got the shotgun snap. He's going to keep it himself. Wanted to go up the middle, but had to go outside. Shakes off one defender. Shakes off another. Got a nice block from Clyde Moon. Sidesteps one guy. Right sideline. Juan Thornhill is in the end zone. Big block at the end of the play by Darius Johnson. Juan Thornhill did a lot of that on his own, and he just needed 1 or 2 blocks to give him just an inch of space, and he was gone.
Well, that's the 3rd consecutive possession that the Colonels had. Both the other possessions, the first 2 possessions were 1 play. That was 2 plays. And he was supposed to follow block by Clydell. Clydell missed his initial block, but once they got into the secondary, Clydell was able to turn, make a key block about 15 yards downfield. They ended up springing Juan, and then Juan made one nice open field move in the open field. Easy for me to say.
Yep, we'll call a 41-yard touchdown run by Juan Thornhill. Snap is back. This kick didn't get blocked. Plenty of leg, and the direction is good as well. 20 to nothing. Colonels lead after the long Juan Thornhill touchdown run. 6:09 left to play in the first half on 105.5 KD Country.
Installing Atrium vinyl replacement windows is like an investment in your home that can begin to pay dividends right away. You can save up to 30% or more on your home's heating and cooling costs. Add to your home's equity and add to its value by upgrading its looks and energy efficiency. Custom crafted Atrium vinyl replacement windows. Invest in your home's future with English's.
English's is your complete home center.
Business 29 Altavista.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Colonels starting to kick it into high gear here on homecoming. Bit of a slow start in the first quarter. They lead 20 to nothing now. 6:09 to play in the first half, Oscar. It's old Thornhill being Thornhill there again, as he wanted to go up the middle initially. Blocking wasn't there, so he found his own blocking, went outside, and eventually got all the way to the house there for 6.
Well, that's right. And you heard Coach Sharness, if you were with us early in the Subway pregame show, you heard Coach Sharness talk about he thought that Altavista would have the edge at the athletic positions. That's certainly starting to show it now. Great job by Nelson County with the offensive line earlier in the game, but as this thing's starting to open up, the athletes for Altavista are starting to take charge.
Yeah, I think you're right. Altavista's so athletic, so quick, and sometimes being bigger is not all that matters, particularly when you're just chasing guys around all night, because you end up wearing yourself out a little bit more. Walker Allen on for the kickoff. He's 2 for 3 on extra points, had 1 blocked. He's got it spotted up now, ball on the tee. Subway halftime show should be fun. Might have a guest. If not, we'll just talk about homecomings gone by, stuff like that. I wonder who the homecoming king and queen was back in '93 there, Oscar.
83.
83?
Yeah, they fudged it early.
Okay. Well, either way, here comes the line drive kick from Walker Allen. Takes a kind of a Colonel hop, and then it's fielded by Taylor on the 10-yard line, going right up the middle. Hard running there. He got spun around and kept on going. Team tackle again for the Altavista Colonels, as there was about 5 orange jerseys in on the stop. Tyler Kofer, one of them, getting up off the pile there for the Colonels.
Looking to join you, and they're not sure where you're at. Class of 1993.
And Colonels are really starting to take charge here in the second quarter. When you talk about yardage, I'll give you that stat here in a minute.
Absolutely. Take your time. Nelson County set to go on offense here. 4 wide receivers again, 2 to each side. They're all spread out. Now they've got 3 wide receivers to the right. Empty backfield for quarterback Peyton Galloway.
124 yards for Altavista, 28 for Nelson. So again, starting to take charge. 6:03, Colonels lead 20 to nothing.
Colonel's got most of those on 3 big plays. Nelson puts one man in motion, and Coffer keeps it himself on the sneak. He is driven back hard by Destin Brown. No doubt Destin Brown is at full strength. If he's not, he's sure doing a good job of hiding it, because he got Galway around the stomach there grabbed a leg and just drove him back 5 yards.
He picked up 4, and but Boyd now Destin really picked him up, met him in the midsection, and drove him back. Nice job.
Yeah, Galway got the forward progress. So it ends up being a pickup of 4, 2nd and 6 on the way. Nelson going to go from the middle of the field, 5.5 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Looking to the sideline for a play. Nelson gets lined up and then adjusts the play when they see Altavista's defense. Galway putting a man in motion. Backfield is empty again. Wants to throw. Looking right side. Swings it out. He was looking for number 33, Clayton Cook again, but that was broken up by Navy Jones there. Good job by number 12 to not get in too early, but to be physical enough to knock that ball away.
And did a nice job with getting his right hand across and able to do a classic defender position. Nice job breaking that pass up. Brings up 3rd, and we'll call it 6.
See if the Colonel's defense can get a stop here and force a Nelson County punt again. 3 wide receivers to the left this time, 1 to the right. The lone wide out over there to the right is Corey Mays. Galway back in the shotgun. He's got his running back right behind him. Running back about 9 yards deep. He puts him in motion. Now the backfield is empty again for Galway. Shotgun snap's a good one. Looking to throw, looking for Cook again. Ball hangs up and it's caught. Great catch by Clayton Cook again. Enough for a first down. He catches it on about the 45-yard line of Nelson. Falls forward. Takes a good hard shot from Juan Thornhill, but manages to hang on for the grab.
Yeah, he did, and that's going to be a gain of about 20 yards. Nice job by Nelson County on picking up and converting that 3rd down and long.
Well, you can see Clayton Cook is the primary target for Galway back there, and you can see why. Sure-handed, good-sized kid, nice target to throw to.
And that was in traffic. It was a nice catch.
Really was. Fresh set of downs here from the Nelson County 44. Governor's in a shotgun formation again. Here comes the snap. A little high. Galway fakes. He's going to keep him himself. He's going to try and run away from Darius Johnson. Not going to happen tonight. Darius holds on, and then the cavalry is coming as well as Clydell Moon was in there to help out with the stop. Going to go as a loss of 5 for the Governors.
Yeah, they're going to mark that at the 46-yard line. Actually, going to call a loss of 3. Favorable spot for Nelson on that. That's the 3rd time Darius has been able to get in and get to the quarterback and really spin him down.
Darius playing that defensive end spot a lot. Demetrius plays the linebacker a little bit more, but they're both sort of interchangeable. You know, each guy can do a little bit of both. 2 wide receivers each side again for the Governors. Altavista in the 3-3 defense. Now they've actually got 4 guys with their hand on the ground ready to go on the D-line. Galway fakes a run. Now he's rolling out to his right. Got to get rid of it. He does. Throws it to the sideline. Smart play. Just sort of threw it away. Didn't have anybody open, and he was getting pressured. So rather do that than take the snack. Than take the sack. Good heady play there by Nelson.
Yeah, it was. And he had a couple of seconds to make a decision. An Altavista defender was closing in on him. Then you alluded to it was a nice decision, not losing the extra yardage. That would have put him back in another 4 or 5 yards deep, so it would have been 3rd and about 18 as opposed to 3rd and 13.
3:54 to play. Governor's throwing the ball a little bit more. That's causing the clock to stop some. You know, they really ran the ball a whole lot in that first quarter, and that was a big reason why they controlled the clock and the time of possession. Galway fakes the handoff. Didn't know if he wanted to run or pass there, but he's going to get hit hard. Might have got it back to the original line of scrimmage across the 45-yard line. Met by a couple Colonel defenders right there. And Altavista wants to take a timeout to stop the clock. It was Darius Johnson and Destin Brown in on the stop. We'll take the timeout with them. Colonel's lead 20-0. 3:39 to play here in the first half on 105.5 KD Country.
Don't you think it's time that your business account made you money? I'm Marion Marshall with First National Bank, and we've introduced a small business interest checking account that earns your business interest. That's right, interest. So for a progressive small business checking account, come to First National Bank today. We'll show how your business account will earn interest, and we'll provide you with an extraordinary customer experience. First National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Colonels lead 20-0 here from English Stadium. Some other dogwood action tonight. Oscar William Campbell is down in Ringgold taking on the Wildcats. And then Big game in Appomattox. Hawks taking on the Raiders. Gretna versus Appomattox. We'll try and get you some updates from both those games. Chatham Cavaliers are off, and of course that's who Altavista plays next week. So they'll be fully rested for the Colonels. That's another angle that we'll be able to talk about in the pregame show for that one.
Did get an update from the Gretna game. Gretna's up 21-14 at the half.
Okay, still anybody's ball game there from Appomattox. Punt formation here for the Governors. Long snap gets back there. Kick is going to roll to Michi Malback, but he'll field it on the bounce. Going backwards initially, looking for some room. Now he gets going forward. Flag comes out. Might be a block in the back against the Colonels. And if it is, this is not going to be good news because Michi Malback only got the return to about the 10. Block in the back. Probably going to end up being half the distance to the goal, but you got to figure Colonels are going to start around their own 5-yard line if it is.
And officials are meeting to discuss the call.
Only other thing I really think it could be would be a face mask. Nope, they're going to call it a block in the back against Altavista. Anytime you see a flag on a kickoff or a punt, anytime there's a kicking play, punt or a kickoff, and you see a flag, I'm thinking like 90% of the time it's a block in the back, right?
Yeah, it is.
Clipping, block in the back, some sort of illegal block, hold, that kind of thing. Every now and then you'll see something else, but not often.
Yeah, Kyle, 3:27 here. Colonels are going to be pinned deep at their own 5. Colonels lead 20-0.
Always fun to be back up in the friendly confines with Mr. McCracken and Mr. Mundy. The M&Ms, if you will. We need a better nickname than that, but that was all I could think of on short notice. Shotgun formation. Thornhill's going to start with his heels pretty much in the end zone. 2 wide receivers to each side. Let's see what the Colonels do. Juan's going to run it left side. He's got a lot of room. Oh, boy. Juan's got daylight going right up the middle. He's across the 50. Don't think anybody is going to catch Mr. Thornhill, Oscar, as he is gone 95 yards for the touchdown. It only took about 6 or 7 seconds there on the play. Great blocking on the left side by Ashton Robinson and Clay Teagarden. I mean, the hole was huge, and nobody from the Nelson secondary was able to even run him down.
Well, I've got to contradict you.
Okay.
You said it took it was 3:27 when the play started.
Oh boy.
3:15. So it took him 12 seconds to do the 95 yards.
No, is that really? Is that for real?
Yeah, that is for real.
Great run by Juan Thornhill. 12 seconds, 6 seconds. It doesn't matter. Juan was gone, and boy, we saw that one early. Sometimes you're not sure if a guy's going to break away or not. Once we saw that hole open up.
The last drives, 1 play, 2 plays, and 1 play.
Wow. Talk about potent, high scoring. That's a great way to describe the Altavista offense. Walker Allen converts it, makes it 27-0. 95-yard touchdown run from Juan Thornhill. Altavista Colonels starting to roll here. 3:15 to go in the first half on 105.5 KD Country.
Try a variety of lunch specials priced under $4 at El Cazador Restaurant. The people that brought the first Mexican food to the area 13 years ago and still going strong 7 days a week. Come by for Mexican or American food, all reasonably priced with drink specials and great service too. Voted best Mexican restaurant by you, their customers. El Cazador Mexican Restaurant, Main Street in Altavista. El Cazador Mexican Restaurant thanks you for your loyalty and your business. You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
27-0 after the long scoring run there from Juan Thornhill. And Oscar, Colonels didn't have much in the way of yards in the first half. That stat's changed a little bit, or in the first quarter.
74 yards in the first quarter. They've amassed 219 here in the second quarter. Their time of possession, if you think that's a big factor, you're wrong. The Colonels haven't had the ball but about 2 minutes here, but they've amassed 20 points here in this quarter.
I don't know if it's too early for this or not, but I'm going to go with it anyway. Scientists say 2/3 of the earth is covered by water, the other third covered by Thornhill. Navy Jones got 2 touchdowns tonight as well.
Back once again.
And again, for a team that we said looked a little sluggish or a little flat there in the first quarter, things have changed around dramatically. Dramatically. Is that a new word?
That is a new word.
Somebody call Webster. I just invented a new word. Kickoff fielded on the 10-yard line by Kirby. He's going to start out going right. Got a Colonel draped around his back. He is dropped on about the 23-yard line. One Colonel down on the play, hurt on the return. Let's see who that is. I think it's Tyler Kofer again, who made the stop on the last kickoff. He gets up and runs off under his own power. Good to see there. And the Nelson County Governors will take over on the 23-yard line. What was that word I just made up?
Dramatically.
Dramatically. That is a cross between dramatically and drastically.
Or Jurassic and something. It was pitiful is what it was.
I thought it was pretty good. I think it's going to catch on. We'll see. I'm going to start a blog and put it on there.
Twitter.
That might be the
Twitter.
name of the blog. Dramatically. Colonels lead 27-0. All jokes aside. Got to give the Governors some credit still, though. They haven't quit playing hard. Shotgun formation for Nelson County. They'll hand it off to Taylor again. He's driving up the middle. Good gain right here along the right hash mark. Brought down by an ankle tackle by, it looked like Demetrius Johnson, along with some help.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a gain of about 5. And Nelson County's done a decent job with the running game. The offensive line looks big. We documented how strong they were. Actually, they're going to call it a gain of 6.
A lot of spread teams. The linemen are sort of spread out as well. Their linemen are kind of in tight, sort of old school football as far as that goes, but the wide receivers are spread out along the width of the field. 2nd and 3 on the way. They pull one lineman. They give it to Taylor again. He's got some room. Close to a first down. Spun around, and it's a good thing he did. He dipped down and avoided a hard hit by Juan Thornhill. Juan just ends up flying over the top right there.
Yeah, that was Destin Brown that made initial contact, made the stop, and if the player wouldn't have gone down, Juan would have leveled him. Gain of 3. It's going to be 3rd and a very, very less than 1.
Juan was coming in full speed from his safety spot, and he laid out horizontally.
Launched.
He launched and just launched a little high. Again, probably a good thing because that would have been a hard hit.
Yes, it would.
3rd and 1, shotgun formation for the Governors. They hand it to Taylor again. He's got the first down, a little bit more, hit hard by Juan Thornhill. About a yard past the line of scrimmage, but it's enough. Juan drops him on the 35-yard line. Governor first down, under 2 minutes to go here in the first half.
And I'm sure Nelson County would be plenty fine running out the clock here, going to halftime, only trailing 27-0.
I think you're right. Coach Poston knows what's going on here. They trail 27-0. He'd love to score, but I think his primary goal right now is to hang on to the football and try and run out this clock, get to the Subway halftime show as quickly as possible. Galway goes under center, pitches it to Taylor, ball's on the ground. Colonels are going to try and scoop it up. It's still loose. Let's see who's got it. Wow, this is one of those wild ones. Colonels recover it again. I think that's Clydell Moon. No, Moon was
Donovan
around.
Montague ended up with the ball.
Donnie Montague ends up with it, and that was one that gets kind of scary because there's all kinds of people diving at that football. Shoulders and hands and helmets all meeting up. Normally not a good thing. Colonel football on the fumble recovery by Donovan Montague, and the Colonels are going to take over with outstanding field position. They'll start on their own 13-yard line. Field position hasn't mattered the last couple drives. Let's see if it matters here.
That's a loss of 22 on that play, and of course with the turnover, Colonels take over 1st and 10 from the 13-yard line.
1:22 to play. Juan has 2 backs beside him. It's Moon and Brown. Brown's going to get his first carry of the game, looking for the end zone, hit hard in the thigh pad, just short. Kelly Kirby was there to make the stop, and then it got cleaned up by a few other Colonels. Holding is the play on the flag, or holding is the call on the flag.
Yeah, it'll be a 10-yard penalty against the Colonels from the point of the hold.
And it was probably right around the line of scrimmage, I'm guessing, so it'll set up about 1st and 20. Minute 16 to play in the first half. Colonels have all 3 timeouts.
And that's a shame.
The Colonels took 1 timeout.
Yeah,
so go ahead.
They did. That was a nice job by the offensive line. Of course, you never know if the holding call was part of that. But nice hold from Dustin. He hit the hole hard, which is good to see considering his shoulder injury that he had 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, used Moon as a lead blocker right there. And they'll both stay in the game. This time, Destin Brown slides up to a wing spot right off that right tackle. Moon is right beside Juan Thornhill in the shotgun. And Juan's working with 3 wide receivers. He'll fake it to Moon, keep it himself. Left side, Juan Thornhill looking for the end zone again. And, boy, he doesn't even have to go full speed as he waltzes that one into the end zone. Juan Thornhill, another rushing touchdown. Boy, it is getting pretty tough to stop number 11 out here tonight, Oscar.
Yeah, it is. And, again, huge hole. Juan was able to he's got great vision.
Yeah.
Picked a nice lane, got into that secondary, and he just picked them apart. And, Coach Sharness was dead on. The athletes are starting to dominate this game.
Yep. Excellent blocking again on the left side. Brumfield the center. Ashton Robinson the left guard. Snap back for the extra point is good, and the kick is good as well. Walker Allen converts another, and the Altavista Colonels, that snowball continuing to build. They've got the grease going, and the wheels are rolling pretty good here tonight against Nelson County. They lead 34-0, 51 seconds left to go in the first half on 105.5 KD Country.
Apple Auto Glass is your windshield repair and replacement center in Lynchburg. You get a free car wash with all windshields replaced in the shop. Apple Auto Glass wants the fans to enjoy the boys of fall this high school football season.
When I feel that chill, smell that fresh cut grass, I'm back in my helmet, cleats, and shoulder pad. Kings of the school, man, where the boys of fall.
Apple Auto Glass salutes the boys of fall.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
34-0. Colonels score again. It's by way of another Juan Thornhill rushing touchdown. And Oscar, hard to review these scoring drives for the Colonels because it's more just like scoring plays, huh?
Well, it really is. And here in the the second quarter, see where I am?
Yep.
80-yard, one play drive, 80-yard for Navy Jones. 2 plays for Thornhill on the 43-yard run. 1 play on the 95-yard Thornhill run, and 1 play on the 23-yard run. I think the first drive was 2 plays.
Explosive, potent, high-powered, any adjective you want to use will fit this Altavista Colonel offense.
Now, it was 1 play in the first quarter.
Yep.
And then in the second quarter, it's been 1, 1, 2, and 1.
Impressive stuff, I mean, to say the least. And it's tough as a defense. I mean, you don't even get a chance to dig in the trenches there and put up a fight when they score so quickly. Colonel's going to try that kickoff. Looks like Michi Ball back on the stop right there, running down the ball carrier. It was number 26, Trey Washington, on the return. Ball back tracked him down from behind and stopped him on about the 25-yard line. So decent return. Although I think the Colonels have got to feel pretty good about their coverage there. Yeah, Juan Thornhill, 3 rushing touchdowns, 1 passing touchdown as well. So Juan added again with 46 seconds left to go here in the first half.
And the pass, of course, was to Navy Jones.
Yeah.
And then the other touchdown was by Navy on an 80-yard run.
Nelson County got under center. I don't know if the Governors took a knee there really quickly or not. That's one way to get it to halftime. Colonels lead 34-0. Governors now on the... Yeah, they spotted that ball on the 24-yard line now. I think Nelson County just kind of got up really quick and took a knee. Took everybody by surprise. Official talking to the center a little bit there for Nelson. Maybe it caught the officials by surprise, too. Down and distance over there hasn't changed, and that still says first down, so I don't know. Hard for us to tell from up here sometimes.
How was it not a delay game at this point? It started 51 seconds.
7 seconds left now in the first half. Clock winding down. They're going to let it roll down, and we're going to go to halftime with that score, 34-0. Colonel started slow, but they certainly kicked it into high gear after that. They lead big here. Subway halftime show on the way in just a minute on 105.5 KD Country.
105.5 KD Country, WKDE, Altavista, Lynchburg, your home for award-winning high school football.
Stay cool in the summer and warm in the winter. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling, on the ready to keep you comfortable year-round. Locally owned and operated, just a call away, with over 20 years experience. Licensed and bonded, Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling, specializing in heating, air, plumbing, and electrical, any season, anytime. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling, keeping you cool in the summer and warm in the winter. Give them a call today. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling, Gretna.
High school athletics builds character, teaches teamwork, and provides a solid foundation for life. PCM Industrial Services recognizes the importance of high school athletics by sponsoring this sports broadcast for your enjoyment. PCM Industrial Services encourages everyone to come on out and watch the game. It's a great time for the whole family. Cheer on the Colonels. PCM Industrial Services, the industrial maintenance and construction specialists, serving the Mid-Atlantic region with quality craftsmen since 1986. Good luck, Colonels.
Man, it's cold in here. What's wrong with your heater?
Well, it used to work pretty good.
Back in the 90s, just call Select Air and get it fixed.
Oh, it'll probably cost a lot of money.
No, it won't, because Donnie will give you a fair price and get it done right the first time.
Maybe I'll call Select Air tomorrow.
No, you will call Select Air today because it's freezing in here.
Select Air, 841-1580. 841-1580. Online at selectair.webs.com. You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Subway halftime show finds the Altavista Colonels up big, 34-0 here against Nelson County on homecoming, and it's homecoming, so we decided to talk to the athletic director, Mr. Dean Hubbard, our special guest here. Maybe we would have talked to you anyway if it wasn't homecoming, Dean, but you've been in this game for a little while now. Homecoming's always a fun event, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely, Kyle, and just glad that we got a couple class reunions here tonight. I've got a good home crowd, and it's always a special time. We've had a great week. Kids having Spirit Day and had a pep rally yesterday, and our football team is off and running here the first half.
Yeah, we'll talk a little football here in a minute, and I'm sure we'll have a little bit to talk about there. But let's talk about some other fall athletics going on at Altavista. I know we had Mr. Bryan up here a few weeks ago talking about the golf team. He seemed to do a great job in his first year there, and you can shamelessly mention your son Richard if you want to, but you don't have to. It's up to you.
Well, Kyle, Coach Bryan did a great job, and our golf team had a great season, and we had 3 kids qualify for the regionals, and there's a lot to be proud of, and it's always a little bit more special when your son's involved.
Yeah, again, the golf team, a great job this year, and I'm sure those guys will have continued success. As golf is one of those lifetime games. Well, for old guys like us, it's like golf and bowling, only things we can really compete in now,
Absolutely. Well, it just teaches so much, the game of golf, and it really is a special game, and anyway, like I said, it was just a great year, and Coach Bryan did a great job with our kids.
Yeah, another coach that always does a great job here at Altavista is Coach Deborah Spencer, and she's got the volleyball team in the right direction again this year. No surprise there, huh?
Absolutely, Kyle. We had a great match last night against Stan River and beat them 3-0, and our girls have already clinched the conference to be hosted here, the semifinals and finals, and a little bit different format. We'll play the semifinals and the finals in one day, starting at 1 o'clock, and that'll be at Altavista on November 9th, and our girls will get a bye there in the quarterfinals. Deborah's has been doing it such a long time and does such a great job, and we're really very excited about what our volleyball girls have done so far this year.
You mentioned the conference tournament. That's a little bit new, obviously. If you can tell us a little bit about that process, and then what happens after the conference, because I know they're not really doing the regionals as much anymore either, right?
Well, what's going to happen is we'll have a conference tournament. The teams that are in the conference are a little bit different from people in the past, even though we've played some of them. But we got Perry McClure and William Campbell and Cumberland, Central Lunenburg, and Highland, and Galileo Magnet Schools. So anyway, it is a little bit different, but we'll have a conference tournament, and we'll have 2 teams come out of the conference tournament, and then we'll have a 8-team regional tournament. But like I said, the format's a little bit different for volleyball this year, simply due to travel, so we will do the semifinals and finals in one day.
And volleyball is one of those sports where you can play multiple matches, and all those traveling teams and stuff, they play a bunch of games and matches in a day, so that's not as big of a deal.
Absolutely. Our young ladies are, kind of used to doing it, like I said, throughout the summertime. So anyway, it's we've got some pretty significant travel in our conference.
And finally, I guess we got to mention the other fall sport, cross country. They're sort of getting into the meat of their season. They probably don't have too many more regular season runs left before they get into the postseason, right?
Right. We finished our last regular season cross country meet on Wednesday, Kyle, and we'll be open next week, and then the following Wednesday we'll be hosting our conference cross country meet here at Fraser Farms. I believe the girls will run at 3 o'clock and the boys like at 4:15. But yeah, Coach Smith and Coach Wilkerson do such a tremendous job. it takes a special individual to run cross country, and we're expecting big things from our cross country team this year.
Yeah, good stuff all the way around. And finally, we'll touch on football for a second, because I know you're a big football fan. This Colonel team's pretty fun to watch, isn't it, with the athletes they got out there and the ability to score. And then, like we saw last week, I mean, the defense isn't shabby either.
Well, Kyle, we're so lucky to have Coach Sharness and the staff that and the staff that we have. I've said this to a number of people. We just have so many weapons offensively, and kids are really doing a good job. And so far, we're having a great season. It was a tremendous win last week, going down to Dan River and beat them the way we did. Because the last 2 years when we played Dan River, they were pretty physical getting us out. We were very, very excited about the Dan River win last week.
Fun season all the way around for the Colonels, whether you're a football fan or any other fan of the fall sports. It's been pretty good so far for the Altavista Colonels. Mr. Hubbard, thanks for joining. We'll take another time out. We'll let Oscar come back. We don't want his ego to get too bruised, but we'll have Mr. Hubbard up here again before too long. Another time out with the Altavista Colonels up big, 34-0 on the Subway halftime show on 105.5 KD Country.
The following is brought to you by English Construction Company.
What do basketball, choir, drama club, and marching band all have in common? They're all high school activities that offer learning opportunities not necessarily found in the classroom. They take up just a fraction of a typical Virginia high school's budget, and they go a long way to giving young people the tools they need to thrive. High school activities, they're more than extracurricular. They're extra important, too.
Check out the new specials from your Apple Markets. Red Bull 4-packs, now $4.99. Ruffles potato chips for $3.49 a bag. And Jack Link's jerky, $4.99. And Resource Water, 700 milliliters, buy one, get one free. At all Apple Market locations, Riverside, Gateway, and Main Street in Altavista. Visit the Apple Market's convenience stores today.
A short drive will save you money.
That's right. A short drive can save you hundreds, maybe thousands. The absolute best selection of new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Have a trade? When you make a deal, Feller Chevrolet will pay it off, no matter how much you owe. Slow credit? Don't worry. Drive away today in your new or pre-owned vehicle. Remember, if you didn't purchase your vehicle from Feller Chevrolet, you paid too much for it.
Feller Chevrolet in Altavista.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Subway halftime show returns. Colonels lead 34-0. 3 rushing touchdowns from Juan Thornhill. A passing touchdown where he hooked up with Canavis Jones. That started the scoring, and then Navy Jones ran in another long one himself, Oscar. And about the only thing Dean and I didn't get to talk about was your golf game. That was coming next, though. We've heard about you. You got all the shots. You got the power fade. You got the hard draw, the high draw, the low draw. You got the short game. What don't you have?
I hit it straight, and my putt. I'm rolling the ball really well, and 73, 73, 74, 73 the last 4 weeks.
We really want you to toot your own horn.
But anyway, let's talk about scoring. It started in the first quarter after a punt to the 50-yard line. One play that was the Thornhill to Navy Jones 50-yard touchdown pass, and extra point was good. Then in the second quarter, there's going to be some pretty gaudy stuff here as we talk about the scoring plays. After a punt where the ball was at the 20-yard line, one play, 80-yard Navy Jones run, and that was the second score. I'm having computer issues, so just bear with me.
We're at the mercy of technology sometimes. It used to work for us. Now we have to work for it.
After another Nelson County punt, 4-yard pickup on the second one, on the first play. The second play was a 43-yard Thornhill pass, and extra point was good. After another punt from Nelson County, where Altavista held, blocking the back, put the ball at the 5-yard line. That was another one-play drive, 95 yards by Thornhill. After the turnover on the ensuing kickoff, the long snap and fumble recovery, lo and behold, another 1 play drive, 23 yards. So the Colonels have gone 1, 2, 1, 1, and 1. It's been pretty gaudy.
Yeah.
When you talk about that, and when you talk about stats, Colonels with 243 yards on the ground in the first half, 73 through the air for a total of 316 yards. And after only having 74 in the first quarter, they rolled up 240 here in the second quarter, so that's pretty dominant. And only 89 yards total for Nelson. They were held to minus 23 in the second, rushing in the second quarter, so huge turnaround both sides of the ball for the Colonels here in this first half.
Nelson did a great job in that first quarter of controlling the ball, controlling the clock, didn't turn it over. But then the second story was a very different story. Or the second quarter was a very different story as the Altavista offense got rolling in a big way. And then they got another interception from Juan Thornhill as well. I mean, I made up my own word in the second quarter. You made great use of an existing word, gaudy, and that is a great way to describe Altavista's statistics. Juan Thornhill has intercepted 5 passes on the year. They also added 3 touchdowns, so that gives him 13 on the year. Added another passing touchdown as well. He's got 5 of those. So
Nelson had a nice drive going. Got down to the 6 or 7 yard line, and Juan picked off that ball, and we thought, will that jump start him? And lo and behold, it really did.
Yeah, it did. I mean, the interceptions obviously in a huge part of last week's game. They probably, not saying they don't win the game if they don't have all those interceptions last week, but that helped them go on to win that game. 4 interceptions, 3 of them went for touchdowns. Tonight, just a 1 interception, but it's big because it stops Nelson County's scoring chance in its tracks. And then it sets up another Altavista offensive touchdown, which it tends to do when your defense gets a turnover like that. Colonels did pick up a fumble down here as well. So, there's 2 turnovers on the evening that the Altavista Colonels have picked up, and they haven't turned it over yet either.
I think it was on SportsCenter at one point.
Plus 2 in the turnover ratio.
No, that's right. And, we called Ashton Robinson's number a ton of times tonight. Looks like we can call it one more time.
Looks like he has been honored as the homecoming king tonight, Mr. Ashton Robinson. He's tough right there.
It is, and he's headed back to the locker room with the crown on his head. So nice job by Ashton tonight.
Yeah, very good stuff there, and that's a nice testament to him. Must mean he's a great guy. We already knew that. Coach Sharner's probably going to make him take the crown off to play in the second half. Well, we've got a few minutes before the teams get back out on the field to do their stretching and their warm-up. So let's take another time out here in the Subway halftime show. Colonels lead 34-0 at halftime here on 105.5 KD Country.
In the past century, our community has grown, and Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service has grown too, alongside the families they've known for so long. Finch & Finch is proud to have served you over 100 years. A family business, Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service, dedicated to your service.
Finch and Finch Funeral Homes. We're here because we care.
Try a variety of lunch specials priced under $4 at El Cazador Restaurant. The people that brought the first Mexican food to the area 13 years ago and still going strong 7 days a week. Come by for Mexican or American food, all reasonably priced with drink specials and great service too. Voted best Mexican restaurant by you, their customers, El Cazador Mexican Restaurant, Main Street in Altavista. El Cazador Mexican Restaurant thanks you for your loyalty and your business.
Installing atrium vinyl replacement windows is like an investment in your home that can begin to pay dividends right away. You can save up to 30% or more on your home's heating and cooling costs. Add to your home's equity and add to its value by upgrading its looks and energy efficiency. Custom crafted atrium vinyl replacement windows. Invest in your home's future with English's.
English's is your complete home center.
Business 29 Altavista.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Final segment of the Subway halftime show here. Colonels up big over the Nelson County Governors, 34-0. Teams will be arriving back on the field shortly to conduct their warm-ups for the half. And don't forget about the KD Country Dollar Saver. New half-price deal every Thursday goes on sale. Great food, all kinds of great activities, that kind of thing. We've done an air conditioner on there.
There you go.
We've done so many different food places that I can't keep track of them all. Pokey Joe's Barbecue, McDonald's, El Cazador, El Cerrito, Virginia Dare Cruises, where you get a meal on there. Sold out of those, but you got to check out the KD Country Dollar Saver, kdcountry.com, or you can get there at kdcountrydollarsaver.com. And, of course, while you're on our website, you can check out all those YouTube broadcasts on demand, football and basketball. Never hurts to go back and listen to those basketball state tournament games there. They were a lot of fun. And it never hurts to go back and listen to these football games because the Colonels have had a whole lot of fun in the 2013 campaign so far, Oscar. 5-1 on the year. Looks like by all indications they're going to improve to 6-1 after tonight, but we still do have one more half to play, and of course we'll have a running clock when we do finally start the second half here tonight.
Yeah, and we've really got to have another score. The running clock starts at 35.
Oh, you're right.
The blocked extra point.
That's a good point.
Is going to end up costing some clock, but the Colonels get the ball in the first half, and the way they finish in the second half, and the way they finish the first, it should be quickly.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point. And I know Coach Poston's team, he's going to have them playing hard, and I'm sure they'll make some adjustments here during the Subway halftime show. They'll try and do some things to stop Altavista, but again, Colonels with so many weapons, they're going to be hard to stop. Sometimes it's not a question of adjustments that you can make, it's just don't have enough thoroughbreds to keep up sometimes.
Jimmy, yeah.
And that's sort of the hand that Nelson County is dealt right now. But again, I know they're going to keep playing hard, and I know they're going to keep bringing the fight to Altavista, so we'll see. Game's not played on paper, as we just said.
Good point.
In the first half, the first quarter was 7-0 to end the first quarter, correct? Altavista just had the one touchdown lead in the first quarter.
That's
Obviously,
right.
They broke things open there in the second quarter. They lead 34-0 right now. But Nelson has shown that they are certainly capable of, if not stopping the Colonels, slowing them down a bit.
Well, that's exactly right. And again, with the Colonels getting the ball here early getting it here in the second half, it's you got to believe it will be in a running clock situation. Nelson's been shown no ability to stop Altavista at all.
After the first quarter.
After the first quarter.
Yes, and we wouldn't be here starting the second half if it wasn't for our sponsors, so let's give them a little extra publicity.
Absolutely. First National Bank, focused on providing an extraordinary customer experience.
Apple Market, serving you from 3 Altavista area locations.
Towery Little, heating and cooling, keeping you cool in the summer, warm in the winter, and comfortable in between.
English Construction Company, wishing our high school athletes an exciting and injury-free game.
Fellers Chevrolet, where a short drive will save you money.
El Cazador Mexican Restaurant, voted best Mexican restaurant in town by you, their customers.
English is your complete home center and your home for Atrium vinyl windows.
Select Air, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, never an overtime charge.
PCM Industrial maintenance and construction specialist since 1986.
And Apple Auto Glass and Mirror on Fort Avenue in Lynchburg, saluting the boys of fall as always. And of course, if you ever listen to us at kdcountry.com or know anybody that does, you can thank Walmart on the Clarion Road in Altavista for that. They provide our streaming internet coverage, whether you're in Timbuktu or Kalamazoo. You can always hear the Colonels or whoever the Colonel's opponent is that night. You know, I know some folks from the road teams do tune in sometimes. You know, the signal doesn't come in so hot some places in Nelson County, but kdcountry.com is always going to come in good. So that's a nice feature to have, not just for the Colonel fans, but for the other team's fans as well. Subway postgame show. We knew our Subway halftime show. I'm getting ahead of myself again. We knew the Subway halftime show was going to be a little extra long, but we prepared, I think, because we can always talk about the great food at Subway and the great customer service as well.
Yeah, Brittany took care of us again this afternoon, and of course we talked about it earlier. We happened to be in there at the same time, unplanned that way, and we kind of wreak havoc on the place when we do. It's a huge disruption.
It is. We had sort of a bit going in there and a thing, and we ended up talking about the pizza, which is what I got. But I wasn't the only one in there that got pizza. That's the thing. If you don't know about the pizza, it might be the best-kept secret in town, the Subway pizza.
Well, it's really good. It's about the right portion. And, yeah, we did have a bit going on in there, but you're probably the only person that's ever had a pizza with the ingredients you had on it.
Oh, boy. Well, that's the great thing about Subway is you can get whatever you want on it. You can make it any kind of way you want. They're going to take care of you. Now, your broadcast partner might judge you for it and might, think you're, character flawed in some way, but you can get whatever you want at Subway. That's the bottom line. And they're not going to judge you for it.
No, you're absolutely right, and they'll fix it however you want it.
Yep.
They may laugh at you, but they'll fix it any way you want.
It wasn't that bad. I mean, I just got banana peppers on a pizza. I think that's pretty standard, actually. So, anyway. But, yeah, $5 footlong of the month, of course, spicy Italian. And then also the Tuscan chicken is a $5 footlong of the month as well. You can do that Tuscan chicken in a salad, too. Look at that chopped salad. That's good stuff. And when you're on a health kick like Oscar Briggs, I tip my cap to you there for that. I'm not making fun of you for that or anything. That salad comes in handy from time to time, and so does the technology from time to time. Both teams seem to be set and ready to go here in what could possibly go down as the longest Subway halftime show of all time.
Well, it could, and I heard Dean Hubbard talking about Donnie Wilkerson and the cross-country team, and I want to give a shout-out to Donnie. Donnie was instrumental with me as I started running and helping coach me and encourage me as I got through that first initial 2 months of struggling to do that, and couldn't have done it without him. He's been a huge motivator for me, and again encouraged and coached as I was able to start that exercise program and lose a few pounds.
Yeah, it's good stuff, and I overheard Donnie Wilkerson talking about on a homecoming. Not unlike this, a few years ago, he was voted the homecoming king.
That had to be a long time ago.
I'm not going to reveal the year. I think he told me the year and didn't care if I said it, but I've just got too much class for that. So, Donnie Wilkerson, and we salute you and all homecoming kings and queens of the past. Don't forget about those homecoming queens as well, and everybody else.
Yeah,
just because you didn't get voted the king doesn't mean you're a bad person.
No, that's right. I'm sitting here watching Dustin Brown warm up, and he's working on that shoulder. Looks like he's got his whole range of motion.
He's got the range of motion going, and there's some range of motion fans out there, and Destin Brown is probably one of them, particularly when you're coming off an injury like that. But a special shout out to a fan I know, a guy named Josh Brown. He is, without a doubt, the most diabolic tutor I've ever been a part of. That's an inside joke right there, Oscar. And again, this is the fact that we've digressed down to this level is just an indication that we are not playing football yet. So don't worry, listeners. You haven't missed any actual action yet. Both teams are making their way now to the actual field. And Nelson County, again, will kick off to the Altavista Colonels.
And again, that is the actual field, not the virtual field that we have here as well.
This is the actual field, and the third quarter will actually get underway here in a mere matter of moments. Nelson County going to kick off. Looks like they'll all huddle up about 5 yards behind the kicker. We'll see if they spread out, or we'll see if they break from that huddle and just sprint downfield like we've seen some teams do. Boy, those Bradley, William Campbell teams used to go from that muddle huddle and kick off. Now they spread out. I've seen the New Orleans Saints go from that huddle like that before.
Yeah, of course, this is the first opportunity we've seen Nelson kick tonight.
It is. Doing the honors for the Governors will be number 6, who is not listed on our roster.
He had strong leg. Watching him in warm-ups, he very strong leg. Be interested to see how if they choose to kick to Altavista's Navy Jones or Michi Malbeck.
Yeah, official doing some talking to him. It looks like he's sent him away. He sent the kicker. Okay, somebody from the Nelson County sideline now going to take a look at the kicker. I think, again, it's an equipment violation or, blood on the jersey, doesn't have a mouthpiece, something, chin strap. He's just standing over there on the sideline right now. Again, I thought we were going to have some football action, Oscar, but we'll have to wait just a little bit longer. Good things come to those who wait, though, as you know.
Yeah, it looked like it might have been a mouthpiece. He's good. Looks like we're good to go now.
Okay.
Of course, he's got to reset the ball now.
Gonna re-step it off and get the steps right. The Colonel return team has been standing in place for a little while. Michi Malbeck back deep to return, along with Navy Jones. They're on about the 10-yard line. finally, here comes the run-up from Nelson County. Return team gets in three-point stances for the Governors. They kick it short, and it will end up making its way back to Maul back around the 20. Fields on the right hash mark. He's going up the middle. He's got a lot of green space across the 50-yard line. Tried to cut past the kicker and slipped and fell down. Great return nonetheless for number 1, Michi Maulback. And the Colonels will start over with excellent field position from the middle of the field, 43-yard line of Nelson County.
Yeah, we've seen that several times in the last couple weeks as the field, as we get a little bit later in the season, later in the fall season, you start to get that dew falling a little bit heavier, and Michi stopped to make a cut, and he can make that cut as well as anybody in the dogwood, and his feet just went out from under him.
Got going a little fast. He really had one guy to beat, and that was the kicker. Nelson County had 2 outside guys that may have had a chance to run him down if the kicker slowed him down, but Michi sort of got dropped by the slip. But again, not a bad return in any way, shape, or form. Juan Thornhill still in there at the quarterback spot. No deep safety for Nelson County. This could spell trouble. Juan's got an empty backfield. Looks like he might want to throw. Going to be a quarterback draw. Instead, bounces it up ahead, runs in front of one of his own linemen, shaking off some tackles, and then that whole Nelson defensive line got to him. Flag comes out late as Juan is tackled for no gain. Probably a block in the back or a hold again.
Looked like it was in the area of Ken Brumfield.
No,
it's
face mask.
Nelson County.
So let's see what this adds to it.
He was stopped at the line of scrimmage.
Mark it down for 5, not the blatant face mask.
1st and 5, Altavista.
1st and 5 now for the Colonels. 11:42 to play. 34-0 they lead. Juan Thornhill will empty the backfield again. 3 receivers to his right, 2 to his left. Both Johnsons are out there wide. Michi Maulback and Navy Jones on the same side. Passing play this time. Juan's got a nice pocket. Going to throw deep. Looking down left hash mark. Ball is no signal just yet. Now they say incomplete. Ball got knocked around. He was looking for Clydell Moon, who was in the left slot.
And Clydell had a step on the defender, and Juan, it was a nice throw. Defender made a great play on that.
Really did. The ball, as it got knocked around, sort of became wedged between both guys there on the ground. We couldn't see it. And I don't think the officials could see it initially, but then they ruled that it was no catch. 2nd and 5 now. Colonel's going to go with an empty backfield again. Shotgun formation. 3 wide receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Thornhill will put Michi Maulback in motion. They hand it to him. Maulback going left side on the wide receiver sweep. He's around the left side. Now he's to the left sideline. Across the 20, across the 15, lowers the shoulder. Bounced out of bounds around the 10-yard line. Good run from Mr. Maulback there on the sweep play.
And another great job by Darius Johnson out on that end, being able to engage that corner and giving Michi that room where he could get that ball down to the 13-yard line. It's a 25-yard pickup for Michi Maulback.
Darius Johnson, 6'3", 200 pounds. Good guy to run behind. There's some offensive linemen that are 6'3", 200 pounds and probably don't block as good as Darius Johnson, but he's out there on the outside playing receiver, so never a bad idea to try and run it out wide his way. Empty backfield again. Altavista obviously wants to work on this coming out of the locker room break. They'll put Michi Maulback in motion again behind. This time they toss it to him outside. Juan went and tried to throw a block. Sidestep there by Maulback. Maulback driving. Couple guys around the jersey. Now he's knocked over by 3 Nelson defenders after a gain of about 4. Maybe even a little extra after the progress. He was driven back. Yeah, they're going to spot this on the 7-yard line now. Colonel still can get a first down there on about the 2.5.
Nice run by Michi. He was able to get inside and a little bit stronger run than we've seen out of Michi. He's usually a speed guy, not with a lot of power, but he did a nice job then of driving through and picking up 2 or 3 extra yards. They're actually going to give him a gain of 8 on that, Kyle.
Yeah, they do. They end up spotting it around the 5-yard line, actually. You're absolutely right. And you were right about what you said about Michi. Those last 2 runs, he's looked to lower the shoulder, actually. Normally, Michi is a guy that wants to get to the open space. He wanted to take on a little contact there. Low snap. Juan dropped it for a second. Didn't bother him as he will hustle it into the end zone. He got touched a few times, but nobody ever tried to wrap him up. And Juan Thornhill has just scored his 4th rushing touchdown of the evening. Boy, Mr. Thornhill putting on a performance here tonight, even with the bad snap on the ground. He scoops it up and runs it in for the 5-yard score.
Juan was close to being up in the. He was doing really well in the stats in the area. He's picked up a ton of rushing yards tonight. He's going to move up.
Yeah, Juan would be the first guy to say, hey, it's about the team. I don't care about the stats. But he's a big reason the team is so good. Snap is back. Kick is good. Another one converted for Walker Allen. 40-0. Colonels score. First time out of the locker room in the third quarter here. We'll be back. 9:53 left to play here in the third on 105.5 KD Country.
Apple Auto Glass is your windshield repair and replacement center in Lynchburg. You get a free car wash with all windshields replaced in the shop. Apple Auto Glass wants the fans to enjoy the boys of fall this high school football season.
When I feel that chill, smell that fresh cut grass, I'm back in my helmet, cleats, and shoulder pad. Kings of the school, man, where the boys of fall.
Apple Auto Glass salutes the boys of fall.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Well, we talked about the running clock, Oscar. 41-0 Colonels lead. That will be enough to engage that running clock. And sort of, since the second quarter on, sort of something that we felt like was going to be pretty inevitable. But again, you still have to do it. You still have to do the work, get the score. Altavista going with the empty backfield a lot on that drive. Going with quite a bit of Michi Malback. Tried some long passes. Juan Thornhill caps it off with a 5-yard TD run there to end it.
Yeah, it was a nice run by Juan. You said he did a great job of being able to corral that snap, get it off the ground, and it really is almost like a little quarterback delay because it gave the offensive line a little bit of time to open up a hole, and he waltzed into the end zone.
And a little bit of a change in scoring right there that time for the Altavista Colonels because that truly was a drive. That wasn't one or two plays. They actually did have to matriculate the ball down the field a little
they
bit.
took the ball at the Appomattox 43, and that drive was 5 plays. Longest drive.
Okay. So it's not an old wing T offense drive there where they ran 13 or 14 plays or something, but a 5-play drive, not bad. Kickoff bounce down there to Kirby, and this ball's loose. Colonels are going to try and scoop it up on the kickoff. I think Altavista has it.
Looks like Dante Poindexter was on the ball. It's early to tell. It's Dante and Michi Malback. And again, I'm trying to determine if it was Dante.
Ty Woodruff also down there as well. Donovan Montague, Michi Malback, and then you're right, Dante Poindexter, I think, was in on as well. Colonel football. They're going to take over.
That looks like Nelson Dews, actually.
Maybe right about that as well. We'll find out something official here if we can.
That is Nelson Dews. Nelson Dews was on that ball.
Yep. Dews there, number 24, the man that we've mentioned already tonight, picking up the fumble there for the Altavista Colonels. Allen's kick just sort of hung up in the air for a while, and nobody from Nelson got under it to field it. Kirby got his hands on it after the bounce, but it wasn't soon enough. Destin Brown going left side, touchdown. Didn't take very long. He was virtually untouched. Great blocking on the left side out there by Darius Johnson, and then also Michi Malback. Clydell Moon on the lead block out of the backfield. Destin Brown gets in the end zone. First one in a while for Destin. Good stuff right there on the 10-yard score. Another touchdown, Colonels.
Yeah, nice job, like you mentioned, with Johnson blocking out on the edge. And, Destin showed some speed getting through that hole. This thing is getting ugly quickly now.
Good stuff there from Destin Brown, who, again, had not scored in a while. Didn't play last week. So nice to see him healthy and back. Perfect pass back to the holder, Juan Thornhill, but Nelson County blocks another one. We saw the Governors block one extra point. They block another one here, so we're stuck at 47-0. Colonels continuing to roll. 9:23 left to go here in the third quarter on 105.5 KD Country.
In the winter, Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling on the ready to keep you comfortable year-round. Locally owned and operated, just a call away with over 20 years experience. Licensed and bonded, Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling, specializing in heating, air, plumbing, and electrical, any season, anytime. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling, keeping you cool in the summer and warm in the winter. Give them a call today. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling, Gretna.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
47-0. Colonels lead here after they scoop up the fumble on the special teams play. The kickoff miscue by Nelson County. Then Destin Brown does the rest. 10-yard touchdown strike. His first of the night, 5th of the year for Mr. Brown. Colonels continue to roll, Oscar.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's gotten ugly. they've only had one touchdown drive that was longer than 2 plays, and that was a 5-play drive. So it's Coach Sharness was a little prophetic, saying that the athletes would take over this, and it's happened.
He was right. Took them a little while. Again, got to give Nelson County all the credit in the world. They played very well in the first quarter. Really kept the Colonels in check. Altavista led 7-0 at the end of the first quarter, 34-0 at the end of the half. Now we're all the way up to 47-0 as the Colonels have scored twice here in the second half, and they've done it very, very quickly. Walker Allen ready to run up for another kickoff. He'll kick this one high, very deep this time, and Kirby will land under this one. Now he fumbles it on the 10-yard line. That's not Kirby. That's Washington. He'll try and go up the middle now. Wow, hit hard by a bunch of Colonels. Clydell Moon thought he was going to get the football back, but he helped out on the tackle. So did Demetrius Johnson. And Nelson County will start out middle of the field, 1st and 10 from the 13.5-yard line.
And I think if you're Nelson County, you want to get back to your basics of what you did in the first quarter and start to really to grind the ball, keep the ball on the ground. They've seen that passing the ball is not working. They've got to eliminate turning the ball over and try to get some clock control back into this game.
I would have to agree with everything you said. I think if Nelson County does pass, it should probably be on a situation where it's not a passing down, where Altavista is not expecting it. Keeper here by Galloway. Faked it to the running back, and nobody bit on the fake, particularly not number 7, Destin Brown, who dragged him down with the solo tackle there in the backfield. Called a loss of 4. Big play there by Destin Brown, who, again, did not fall for the play fake.
No, and it's good to see Destin back active again. That game against Gretna, he came out in the fourth quarter and with an obvious shoulder injury, and thought we needed him last week against Dan River. Everybody stepped up. It's good to see him back and with heavy contact on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah. And, it's interesting, too. Nelson County going to pass here. Oh, and it's picked off. Donovan Montague just stepped right in front of the swing pass. Whoa. We mentioned it might not be a great idea for Nelson County to throw. Well, Donovan Montague proved us right on that one. He just stepped in front of a little swing pass, took it to the house. We'll call it a 15-yard interception return. Nobody was able to touch Donovan Montague. 6 points for him, 6 more for the Colonels. Extra point on the way now.
And that drive took no offensive plays.
Man.
It's we talked about Donovan Montague. That was a little bit nice that you talked about him in the Subway pregame show.
Snap back to Thornhill. That's Navy Jones holding. He gets it on the block fine, and Walker Allen boots this one through. No block kick this time. 54-0 is our score from English Stadium. We'll take a timeout here in the third quarter. 8:08 to go with the Colonels on top on 105.5 KD Country.
High school athletics builds character, teaches teamwork, and provides a solid foundation for life. PCM Industrial Services recognizes the importance of high school athletics by sponsoring this sports broadcast for your enjoyment. PCM Industrial Services encourages everyone to come on out and watch the game. It's a great time for the whole family. Cheer on the Colonels. PCM Industrial Services, the industrial maintenance and construction specialists, serving the Mid-Atlantic region with quality craftsmen since 1986. Good luck, Colonels.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
54-0. Donovan Montague gets it in the end zone on the interception right there. Donovan's second touchdown of the year. He's thrown 2 touchdowns, though, as well. And it's just another interception for the Colonels. Boy, I don't know what kind of records the VHSL keeps on interceptions, but at this pace, I think the Colonels might have a chance at threatening something. It certainly might be threatening a school record on interceptions anyway.
That's certainly the 4th interception return, correct?
Yes.
In the last 2 ball games.
Yeah.
So that's certainly, I don't recall seeing it in all my years in the Altavista press box.
Yeah, Juan Thornhill had 1 interception earlier. Just kneeled that one down for a touchback. Donovan Montague takes this one to the house for 6. A couple fumble recoveries so far here tonight. So, again, the turnover game is something that Altavista is very well versed in. Mike Revis's defense loves to try and get that football back. And more often than not, they have this season. Walker Allen going to run it up for another kickoff. Hangs this one up high again. And And it looks like it's going to be fielded by Clayton Cook, number 33. Avoids the first man, doesn't avoid the second and the third man, and the ball came out. This one I think Nelson County fell on. Navy Jones, I believe, was the guy that knocked it out, although you got a few other colonels in there. And still one colonel on the ground going after that football. That is number 20, Chancellor Mormon. And he's a man that we have not mentioned a whole lot this season, but Mormon was in there fighting for the fumble.
Yeah, and I think you're going to start to see some different colonels out on the field. It looks like now Ty Woodruff is out. Jacob Hawkins is in. Still got Thornhill, I think. No. Got Nelson Dews back in the safety position. So we're starting to see Coach Sharnas put some new blood in with some of the experienced players, which is a good decision.
Mixing some guys in. You know, Ty Woodruff was out there actually to start the game. Handoff this time goes to, looks like number 40, Jerry Page to me. We'll see when he gets up off the pile.
They're going to mark it at the 27 yards, loss of 1.
Tyler Kofer in on the stop for the Colonels, along with number 52, Stephen Farmer as well. See some guys exiting there, guys like Michi Malback and Demetrius Johnson. Maybe they've seen their last duty for the evening. We'll see. Yeah, Woodruff actually started the game. Destin Brown did not start out there, and that's when we were kind of wondering if we'd see Destin or not. We certainly found the answer for that. He's got a rushing touchdown and made a bunch of big plays on defense as well. Shotgun snap a little high. They hand it off to number 40 again, Page. Stuffed up in the backfield. Not a whole lot there, and that'll go for a loss of 1 or 2. Farmer in on the stop again.
We're seeing Tim Allen in. We're seeing Walker Allen in now, replacing Navy Jones with 6:39 here in the remaining in the third quarter. Colonels dominating 54-0.
Very dominant performance. You know, Jerry Page, don't know if he's any relation or not, but there was a great Page running back at Nelson County back in the day, Mr. Hayes Page. I believe he is in the VHSL record books because he went off one night against Chatham, I think it was, for upwards of 500 yards rushing, which is hard to fathom, really. Tyler Culfer got a hand on the quarterback's jersey. Couldn't bring him down, but he flushed him out. Galway going to scramble. He's making some nice yardage out of it. He's going to end up getting a first down across the 43-yard line. He's knocked down. Boy, Culfer had a hand on him about a full 10 yards deep in the backfield, so Galloway gets about 15 yards on the carry. So it's a long run there that goes for a first down.
Yeah, nice call. It is exactly a run that kind of pick up, and it's first down for Nelson County. I'm thinking about Appomattox. There's some things going on in that ball game that we may want to talk about here in a minute.
We'll talk about that here in a minute. We're certainly going to have some time, probably in the fourth quarter, and probably on the Subway postgame show as well. But yeah, we'll definitely get around to some other scores. Galway taking his time now. He's probably a little winded after the long run. He'll get under center, 2 wide receivers to each side. Altavista with 2 linebackers. Most everybody else down in the 3-point stance on the ground. Not much there for Jerry Page. Did gain a few yards before he was met by a wall of Colonel defenders. Kofer getting up off the pile again. And also it looks like Wayne Short, number 55, was in on that stop as well.
Yeah, Matt Lane was in the territory as well. Again, Walker Allen playing out as a corner. We saw him last year in the JV game get 5 interceptions himself.
Yeah, talk about an interception machine. He knows well about that. Shotgun formation this time for the Governors. 3 wide receivers to the right. Keeper this time by Galway. Fakes out some people. He's got some green space to run right down the middle. Galway streaking to the end zone. He's across the 20. Now the 10. Nobody will catch him. Touchdown, Nelson County Governors. Peyton Galway continuing to play hard. Long touchdown run right there. 55-yarder. Excuse me. Yeah, 55-yard touchdown. I was right. I shouldn't have second-guessed myself. Nice run there. Faked it to the running back, and that really caused a lot of the Colonel defenders to bite. He had some green space, and he's not short on speed. Right up the gut there, essentially, for a 55-yard touchdown strike. Looks like Nelson County will go for the extra point.
And we didn't have Malbeck, Thornhill, Navy Jones in to run him down either. And you didn't have your linebacking core again. But Galloway's an athlete.
Yep.
Showed great speed on that.
Just a junior. This kick is blocked. Altavista was in that backfield in a hurry. Snap took a little bit too long. And it looks like it was blocked by number 8, Brooke Hamilton. Good stuff right there by the Altavista Colonels. Another timeout here on 105.5 KD Country.
The following is brought to you by English Construction Company.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes in Virginia are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
4:26 to play here in the third quarter. The Apple Market third quarter. Of course, Apple Markets is a proud supporter of Colonel athletics and high school athletics everywhere. Touchdown by Peyton Galloway. Number 5, the junior quarterback for Nelson County. Gets them on the board for the first time this evening. So the Colonels had played 6.5 quarters of shutout ball there. Pretty good little streak. Pretty good feather in the cap for any defensive player to have 6.5 quarters of shutout football, huh?
Yeah, nicely done. And it was funny when the Colonels came out on that play to get the kickoff. They actually went the wrong side of the field.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. I get turned around myself all the time. Don't know what side of the field I'm on. Colonel's going left to right on your radio dial. And, yeah, both teams had to switch it around. Nelson County trying to get some personnel straight on the kickoff return team there.
And you got to wonder at this point, with it 54-6, 4:26 remaining here in the third quarter, if we've seen the last of Juan Thornhill at quarterback.
Well, it seemed like Coach Sharns was getting a lot of those guys out on defense. Never know what he's got planned for the offensive side of the ball. And, again, sometimes you've been working on things in practice. You want to work on stuff. You just never know. Kick going to get picked up on the 15-yard line. Looks like Navy Jones going to start out right side, and he's got some room. Kicker might be able to track him down. We'll see. Navy Jones blows right by him. He's across the 20. Nobody within 15 yards of Navy Jones. No flags on the field on the 85-yard touchdown kickoff return by Navy Jones. 60-6 now. Colonel's lead. Navy's third touchdown strike of the night. And boy, they've been all from long distance. Canavis Jones, really good stuff here tonight.
Yeah. I'm speechless. Navy showed such great speed on that, and the poor kicker had no prayer. He was one-on-one, and Navy set him up like he was going inside. He took one step back to the outside, and he was gone.
Yeah, that's a great way to describe it. Navy really did sort of give him a shoulder shake and make it look like he might try and cut inside, and boy, he just dropped it down into another gear and went outside, and he had nobody that was going to catch him. Kick by Walker Allen, no good. Think he missed it wide right. 60-6 is our score here, though, from English Stadium in Altavista. Colonels up big over Nelson County. 4:14 to play in the third quarter on 105.5 KD Country.
A short drive will save you money.
That's right. A short drive can save you hundreds, maybe thousands. The absolute best selection of new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Have a trade? When you make a deal, Feller Chevrolet will pay it off, no matter how much you owe. Slow credit? Don't worry. Drive away today in your new or pre-owned vehicle. Remember, if you didn't purchase your vehicle from Feller Chevrolet, you paid too much for it.
Feller Chevrolet in Altavista.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
4:14, 60-6 here from Altavista. Close ball game some other places, Oscar, but this one hasn't been short on action. The score isn't close, but I'm telling you, we've seen a lot of good stuff here tonight.
Boy, you've seen the athleticism that this Colonel's team has. Thornhill, Navy Jones, Dustin Brown, Clydell Moons. They're just deep with a ton of weapons that can hurt you in any shape, form, or fashion. We've seen special teams, defensive plays, and the offense has been quickly striking tonight. Time of possession has been dominated by Nelson County.
I know. That's the strange thing about it. When you look in the paper, it might look weird. I don't know if they put time of possession in the paper or not, but it really doesn't matter because we can still talk about it. Nelson County has tried their best to control the clock, play a ball control style offense, keep things moving along, and try and get out of here with a respectable score. Colonels just won't let them. Colonels have found ways to score early, score often, and essentially are scoring all the time. Kickoff from Walker Allen, fielded on the 12-yard line. Nelson County return man wants to try and go inside. Got a decent return. Got it out to the 25-yard line. That was Trey Washington, number 26.
Walker Allen.
On the return.
By Washington. Out to the 25-yard line.
60-6 is our score.
Nelson County.
From Altavista. It is homecoming here, so certainly anybody that hasn't come to a lot of games or hasn't heard much about the Colonels got a nice treat here tonight. And maybe if they've heard about the Colonels, they figured out that they're pretty for real. And that's probably an understatement.
Yeah, it is. And, you know, we didn't talk about it, but after the win at Dan River and a couple of losses out on the Eastern Shore, the Colonels were able to climb back to number one in the East on the east side of the single A division, and I think they're even number one in the state right now based on power rankings.
Yeah, it's something that we haven't talked about. Rushing play here by Nelson County. Ball carrier is going to get run out of bounds by a couple Colonels. Jerry Page again on the carry. Might have picked up one or two there as he got chased out along that far sideline. Yeah. The PowerPoints, the rankings, the ratings, the things that determine the playoff seedings. Altavista is number one. That would mean they would host all the way through. Very good place to be. And, yeah, they were number 5 the week before Altavista beat Dan River.
And we saw some strange things out in the East. That Franklin got beat and Essex got beat.
Franklin and Sussex Central playing tonight. They're big rivals, and they're both 5-1. So one of them is going to drop. One of them is going to climb. Perhaps one of them could even overtake Altavista just based on those points. You never know. Another running play right here for Nelson County. Page going right up the gut. Good lead blocking ahead of him by his offensive line unit. Going to get it close to a first down, but he'll need about, call it 2.5 more for the pickup here on third down. 2:30 to play in the third quarter. Colonels up big, 60-6. Haven't seen anybody punt in a while, so if the Colonels defense could get a stop right here, that might force Nelson County to have to think about that. 1 tight end, 3 wide receivers, 1 tailback for the Governors. They give it to Page again. Page forces ahead. He's got enough for a first down, met by a bunch of Colonels. Ty Woodruff in on the stop. Randall Clark in on the stop.
Gain of 5. They're going to mark that up at around the 37-yard line.
Tyler Kofer in on the stop again. Boy, he's been on a bunch. Stephen Farmer also there as well from that linebacker spot. Farmer and Kofer have been doing a lot of damage since they've gotten in the game. It seems like they're in on every tackle. Fresh set of downs for the Governors. Near the left hash mark, 37-yard line, 1:47 to play in the third quarter. Running play again. They give it to Page. Page tries the middle. Now he tries outside. He's going to get run down by Brooke Hamilton, and then Tyler Kofer came and cleaned him up with a shoulder pad hit. Hard stuff right there. Good job by Brooke Hamilton to make the initial stop. And then the cavalry was on the way for the Colonels.
Yeah, nice job by Hamilton on that play.
Second down, Nelson County.
1 minute and 20 seconds now.
Easy for you to say.
Sometimes it's easier than others, but when you invent your own words like I did, that makes it a little bit easier, because then you can never be wrong. 60-6. Colonels lead by 54 in this one. Nelson County, shotgun formation, 2nd and 11, snap on the way, 2 wide receivers each side. Snaps a little high. Now it's bobbled. Now it's on the ground. But Galloway's going to pick it up, and he's gone for a first down. Tries the right sideline, knocked out of bounds. Never really went to the ground. Stayed on his feet the whole time. Chased out by the Altavista Colonels after a first down run. Another one of those busted plays. We saw that with Juan Thornhill. Sometimes the busted play just makes the timing perfect for some reason.
Yeah, gain of 21 on that play, and continue to see Galloway be able to get some nice yards against this Colonel defense.
Good hard runner is Galloway. And he can throw the ball a little bit, too. We saw him hook up with Clayton Cook more than one time on the long pass plays. Now he's looking long again. Looking for Cook again, I think. Just overthrew him just a little bit. Out of reach. Cook was running right along the numbers right there, and the pass was just about a foot high of the outstretched arms of Clayton Cook. Incomplete. Will bring up 2nd and 10. The clock will run out on the third quarter with the running clock. It does not stop on the incomplete pass in this situation. And that'll take us to the Apple Market fourth quarter. Colonels still up big, 60-6. You're hearing it all on 105.5 KD Country.
Tonight's game is brought to you by these members of the KD Country Sports Club.
Steve Farmer Auto Sales, where there's always a good selection of cars, trucks, SUVs, priced right, financing available. Steve Farmer Auto Sales, 1112 Main Street.
Aubrey Rosser Law Firm, Altavista. first choice for any and all legal advice. Services go way beyond court trials and settlements.
Diane's Hair Creations in Altavista, creating hairstyles for every lifestyle. 283-1111. That's 283-1111.
El Cerrito Altavista. Throw on a sombrero. Shake your maracas. It's El Cerrito time. Authentic Mexican cuisine only at El Cerrito.
Shop Main Street Trading Company, Altavista, where quality and affordability go hand in hand.
Sharky's Pest Control in Hurt. Let Tony take a bite out of your pest control needs. Doing business the old-fashioned way to keep you coming back.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Scores 60-6. Altavista with the big lead over the Nelson County Governors. And Oscar, that third quarter, a little bit indicative of what Altavista has done not only this game, but a lot of the year. Didn't get a lot of yards, but they scored 3 times.
No, they had like 54 yards. Nelson County ran up for 150-some, and Altavista was still able to score, get in the end zone 4 times on that.
4 times.
4 times.
See, happens so much you lose count. Passing play here. Completed it to Cook. Looked like Cook's knee was down. That's actually not Cook. That's number 22, Dwayne Tinnell. And I thought it was Cook because Cook's 33. Dwayne is 22. Number looks similar. Good passing strike there from Galloway to Tinnell. And they called it a gain of 4. Going to bring up 3rd and 6. Clock running again. Probably snap this ball with about 11 minutes and 10 seconds to play in the football game. Subway post-game show should be a good one. Don't turn away. Plenty of good topics. Witty banter, etc. 5 wide receivers for the Nelson County Governors. Empty backfield. Galloway wants to pass. Throws it up for grabs. Colonels have got another interception. Colonels are going the other way. And it looks
Nelson
like
Dews.
nobody is going to be able to catch Nelson Dews on the interception. He grabbed it on about the 35-yard line of Nelson. And Nelson to Nelson connection right there, but not the kind the Governors want. Nelson Dews with the scoring touchdown, 65-yard interception return. 66-6 now. The Altavista Colonels lead. They've scored on another interception, Oscar.
That's incredible. And we talked about that third quarter. The Colonels got in the end zone with only that amount of yards. You had Thornhill with a 5-yard touchdown run, Destin Brown with a 10-yard, Montague with a 15-yard interception, and the Navy with an 80-yard kickoff return. So it was Colonels were able to strike quickly and often and with not many yards of offense.
Yep, they've struck quickly here with no yards of offense. 65-yard interception return by Nelson Dews. Extra point on the way from Walker Allen. It is good. Plenty of leg on that when he gave it that one the full boot. 67-6. Colonels are extending the lead here. Still plenty of fourth quarter left on 105.5 KD Country.
Man, it's cold in here. What's wrong with your heater?
Well, it used to work pretty good.
Back in the 90s, just call Select Air and get it fixed.
Oh, it'll probably cost a lot of money.
No, it won't, because Donnie will give you a fair price and get it done right the first time.
Maybe I'll call Select Air tomorrow.
No, you will call Select Air today, because it's freezing in here.
Select Air, 841-1580. 841-1580. Online at selectair.webs.com. You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Don't see any reason why the homecoming dance won't be a fun one after this, Oscar. 67-6, Colonels lead. Started a little slow in the first quarter. If you just joined us late, 7-0 at the end of the first quarter there for the Altavista Colonels. But since then, all Colonels, all the time, all different ways. They've scored on interception returns by Donovan Montague and now one by Nelson Dews there. It really is incredible stuff. I can't stress it enough. Kickoff return touchdown by Navy Jones. I hadn't seen one of those in a while. The Navy's got 3 touchdowns. Juan Thornhill has 4 correct, and he's thrown 1 too. It's scoring a rundown maybe next to impossible, honestly, in this one.
Yeah, it's a ledger here on the spreadsheet.
Yeah. And again, no slap in the face to Nelson County. These guys have played hard. The Governors did score in the third quarter themselves. Return right here by Sean Moore. He picked it up. He's got some room to run around the left side there. Lassoed and thrown down on around the 36-yard line. Sean Moore was one of those up guys. Turned it into a decent return and good field position for Nelson. Yeah, again, don't want to degrade Nelson County in any way. They have played hard, and like we said, they really in that first quarter gave the Colonels all they wanted. Just we're not able to maintain it. We're not able to keep up with the horses at Altavista.
No, and I'm a little bit confused. I thought Sean Moore used his eligibility up.
Thought he used it all up at UVA there back in the day.
And Sean Moore, of course, was a Martinsville player.
Right.
Had a stellar high school career, maybe in the High School Hall of Fame.
He might be. Running play here by Jerry Page again. Picks up 3 or 4. Yeah, that VHSL Hall of Fame is pretty interesting. Of course, some local guys going in this year. Mr. Anthony Poindexter. My only question is, what took so long to put Anthony Poindexter?
No question. One of the more dominant football players in college football. Had a great career at UVA and was headed that way in the NFL until he had his injury really that last year at UVA hurt him.
Yeah. Yeah, I had the injury there. 2-time consensus All-American in high school, I think. Back-to-back state state championships in high school. All-American in college. And he did get the one Super Bowl ring there with the Ravens at first Super Bowl they won back in 2001, maybe it was something like that.
And he played a predominant role on special teams with that team.
So, yeah, probably long overdue to put Mr. Poindexter in there. And, of course, now he's been on the coaching staff at UVA for quite some time. Boy, he might be the longest tenured coach up there at UVA now, as they've gone through, obviously, a number of changes in recent years. First down for the Nelson County Governors. 9 minutes to play here in the Apple Market fourth quarter. Anytime you're thinking about the fourth quarter, you got to be thinking about stopping by Apple Market after the game, picking up all those specials that they have, and everything you'll need to make your weekend football experience great. Handoff here to Page again. He's hit hard by a host of Colonel defenders. Looked like Chancellor Mormon was one of the first guys in on the stop again, but at least 4 or 5 others joining him after that.
Yeah, it was. Brooke Hamilton was second one in there and was able to help wrap him up, too. We're starting to call Brooke's name a lot tonight.
Hamilton, a 5'7", 155-pound junior. Again, not too many seniors on the Altavista football team. I think you said 6 earlier in the night, Oscar. That sounded right to me. But again, I flunked Math 101 a few times.
And the 6, only 6 for Nelson County, too.
Right. The Governors have got some good days ahead of them, and I'm sure once Coach Mark Poston gets his his system in place and everybody figures out how he wants to do things, that'll help situations some. Under center again for the Governors. They'll hand it off to Page. Page going to go left side. Good surge up front by left guard and tackle. Runs into a wall of defenders there from the Colonels. Let's see who gets up off the pile. Looks like Keegan Cox was in on the stop. First time we've called his name tonight. He was one of those last ones to get up off the ground, so that makes me think he was probably one of the first guys to hit him. Coleman Teagarden also in on that stop as well. 3rd and 7. 67-6 is our score right now from Altavista.
Starting to see more defensive players. Jerry McGregory in for the Colonels, along with, again, Chancellor Mormon is in as well.
Got 5 defenders with their hands on the ground for the Altavista Colonels on that D-line. Handed off again. Brooke Hamilton got hit hard. He made the stop, but he took a little bit of a blow right there. Ball carrier going to be about a yard shy of the first down marker. He needed to get to the 43. Looks like they're going to spot this on about the 44. So it'll be 4th and 1. I would expect Nelson County to go for it. No reason not to go for it here.
No, the clock continues to run under 7 minutes now.
67-6, Colonels lead. Subway pregame show's probably going to be short and sweet, but we will get you some local scores. Know there's some games everybody is interested in. Probably one more so than others, but a lot of good stuff going on at the local football landscape. They give it to Page again. Page bouncing ahead. Had to shift his way through his own offensive lineman there, but he's got enough for the first down. Good, hard running by Jerry Page.
Absolutely good hard running. Picked up 2 yards on that inside run, and again, same situation. He was able to get into a pile and continue to drive his legs. Nice job by Nelson County picking up that first down.
Jerry Page, I'm sorry. I was going to say Page. Page just a freshman. He You know, I'd love to know if he was some relation to Hayes Page, because that certainly the bloodlines would be pretty good. And he's a good hard runner, too. They gave it to him again. He got about a 5-yard gain, finally pushed back. I think forward progress will get it spotted around the 37-yard line.
Yeah, I mean, for a freshman, you know, and granted, again, nothing with Nelson County, but we are seeing some fresh players, some second and third tier players for the Colonels. And but he's doing a good job running the ball. The offensive line's not opening up huge holes, but he's showing a lot of effort and a lot of leg drive and some strength. So as a freshman, I think you're going to see some more of him as you get deeper into his career.
Yeah, well put together, too. I mean, he looks good in a set of pads out there. And like we've mentioned, good hard runner. He's in the tailback spot again, about 6 yards behind his quarterback. That's Peyton Galway. Galway going to give it to him again. They kind of bumped into each other a little bit. Page going to go outside using the stiff arm to his advantage. He's hit low and high. Good job by the Altavista defense to swarm. Page hops right up. Looked like a good solid hit right there by Jamal Thornhill. The old Thornhill combination.
Yeah, it was. And again, Brooke Hamilton in on that play as well. They're going to mark it right inside the 34-yard line. It'll bring up third down, and we'll call it 2.
I'm giving it to Page again if I'm coaching Nelson County, but there's a reason why I'm up here in the press box.
And he showed a nice stiff arm on that play as well.
He did. He really did. And took a good shot. I mean, a man had him up high, and then Thornhill came in and got him right around the knee. Sometimes that can be a little dangerous, but he popped right up, no problem. Looks like Galway wants to pass. He's got a man open. Passes a little high, but it's complete for a first down. Good catch right there by number 15, Justin Campbell. Just the old hitch route, and I think he just ran a little 5-yard hitch there. Galway threw the strike to him. Well, I won't say it was a strike. It was a little high, but he went upstairs and brought it down for the reception and the first down.
Yeah, gain of 7. And with 4 minutes left, Kyle, the Colonels have not touched the ball in the fourth quarter other than the interception return.
And that's odd. They hand it to Page again. He's stuffed in the backfield. Great penetration there. Number 68, Zach Parker, in on it.
Zach Parker.
May have been Stephen Farmer again. I'm not sure. It was either Farmer or Teagarden.
Farmer.
Coleman Teagarden, that is. Coleman Teagarden, number 50. Stephen Farmer, number 52. 2 and a 0 look alike from this distance up here.
You did film that.
I know they're not the same number. I'm just saying they look alike.
Yeah, 2 and a 0 look a lot alike.
67-6. Altavista leads. Give me a break here, man. 3:20 left to go in the football game. Don't forget about the Subway postgame show. Always a lot of fun. Anytime you get to talk about Subway, it's fun. Galway under center. He wants to hand it to Page again. He does. Page will go behind left tackle. Shut down short of the 20-yard line. Solid pickup again, though, for about 4 or 5.
They're going to call it another gain of 4.
Page is going to get a couple weeks' worth of work in one quarter here, as they're just giving him a steady diet of carries. Nothing wrong with that. 2:48 to go in the football game. 67-6, your score here from English Stadium on homecoming for the Altavista Colonels. We've had a good time. Dean Hubbard joined us at halftime. That was fun, seeing all the people, hearing all the old stories. Not all the old stories. Not all of them are appropriate for radio, particularly the ones that you'd like to tell, Oscar Briggs. But we did get to hear about your recent golfing exploits. High snap. They get it to Page. Page rumbling up the middle. He only had one man to beat to get to the end zone, but he is brought down on the 10-yard line. Jamal Thornhill making the touchdown-saving tackle.
They're going to spot that right at the 10-yard line.
You heard me mention I stopped by practice the other day, right?
Yes, I did.
Donovan Montague impressing me. Very, very vocal out there, getting guys in the right place, talking it up. Jamal Thornhill impressed me, too. They had a Thornhill combination going in the backfield on the scout team offense. To me, that's a pretty potent combination. They'll hand it off to Jerry Page again. Page going to try the left side. He's met, but he is driving. Now it turns into one of those big scrums. A lot of bodies involved. Page finally gets thrown down. Let's see where forward progress gets him. Looks like one official's got the spot right on the 5-yard line there. 67-6. Nelson County threatening again.
Yeah, nice job. You know, Page is starting to impress.
Yeah.
He's shown strength. He showed some speed on that one play where he broke the ball up the middle with a little mishandled ball exchange. But you're going to hear this kid's name later in his career.
I think so. They'll hand it to Page again. No, Galway's going to keep it and just follow Page right in the end zone. Touchdown, his second of the evening. Second rushing touchdown of the night for Galway. 67-12 now. Nelson County cuts into the lead. Extra point pending. Galway, good hard runner. And, boy, when you got the Jerry Page guys, a lead blocker, that never hurts either.
Yeah, it was almost, he almost looked like he ran 2 yards behind him before he pulled the ball out of his stomach. And Page had a good head of steam, and Galway just was right on his tail and just followed him into the end zone.
It may have been one of those true read option plays there where the quarterback, does stick it in there, and the ball carrier clamps down, and then the quarterback, it's on him to pull it out if he doesn't like the read. That's what Galway did, and he got in for 6. This kick is up. Looked like it was a little left, but he snuck it inside the left upright.
With 1 minute and 10 seconds.
67-13. Altavista still up big. Just over a minute to play here from English Stadium on 105.5 KD Country.
Once again, for those students that are attending fifth quarter across the street, that will begin.
And we'll keep it here for a minute, as never hurts to do a little extra talk. I'll tell you, Oscar, let me mention something. The athleticism of Galway and Page really impressing me, but the character impressing me more. I mean, everybody's still playing hard for Nelson County. Nobody has given up over there, and that would be easy to do when you're down by this margin.
Yeah, it absolutely would. And when you talk about, Galway, we saw some numbers against Chatham that he had 75 through the air, 76 yards rushing against a very stingy Chatham defense. You look at Galloway, you look at the quarterback situation at Dan River, you look at Rosser, you look at Thornhill, you look at Blankenship. The Dogwood is loaded with athletic quarterbacks.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, that's sort of the trend in football right now. Put your best athlete back there at quarterback. As long as he can throw a little bit, keep the defense honest, that's the way to go, because he's touching the ball every play. But, you're right. I mean, it's easy to say that in theory, but then, to actually have these kind of just animals, I mean, just legit physical specimens running around out there. And smart players, too, guys that know football, guys that understand angles, guys that take care of the football, that sort of thing. I mean, that's really a blessing that everybody in the Dogwood has right now at their possession. We have seen a ton of good players this year.
And,
you didn't even mention Deion Rosser.
I did mention Rosser. You weren't paying attention.
I was blacked out for a second.
And, we that's not to mention what we saw at Galax.
True. Bunch of guys right there. Short kick, squib kick, fielded on the 34-yard line and then downed on the 35-yard line by, see if that man will turn around. It looks like Wayne Short to me. Let's see. 65 is Matt Lane. Okay. I was close again. Wayne Short, 55. Matt Lane, 65. I was in the ballpark. We've called both their names already tonight. And good recovery there. Safe play. No need to risk a long return here, especially when you're up 67-13.
And again, we talked about the anomaly that we had seen. This is the first offensive play with the Colonels with under a minute left in the fourth quarter. This is the first offensive play that they've run.
Yeah, it's strange stuff. Nobody ever said football wasn't strange. We've certainly seen some oddities tonight. Seen a lot of fun things, too. Looks like Altavista is just getting their personnel straight to take a kneel down. Clock continues to run, 37 seconds. One knee is going to do it. Montague surveys his offense and the defense just to make sure he's got everybody. Now the flag comes out, and you don't see that too much as the clock is winding down and the team is up 67-13. Don't see the old late flag. They threw it right as the center moved the ball, so I'm going to guess that was some sort of a ball handling infraction on the center. You can move it a little bit, but you can't pick it up off the ground and do all kinds of crazy stuff, and I think that's probably what happened.
Yeah, and he's laughing, and the official's laughing, and, that is the ball game. The clock continues to start. And
yeah, they spotted the ball 5 yards deep, but penalty's not going to matter. That'll do it for the homecoming game 2013. The Colonels get the big win, 67-13. Final buzzer does sound here. Colonels with the big win. We'll be back in just a second to wrap it all up on 105.5 KD Country.